Hello.
Are we live?
So, this is Sports with an Accent, and we are live. Deportes con acento. This is your host, Robert.
Hi guys, how are you doing today? This is Sports with an Accent, Deportes con Acento. I'm Robert Soltero, along with Brian Rios, Seth Pollock, and Josiah Schuneman. Today, we're going to discuss the first round of the NBA playoffs. That's going to be fun. Also have news about the college football season, some one NBA topic, because we're going to leave most of the NBA topic to the playoffs, as I said. An MLB topic that I think is really interesting, and a couple of NFL topics. So yeah, let's get into it, guys. You guys ready?
Yes, sir.
Let's go.
Go. So as we do each week, NBA first, MLB, NFL, and then last topic. We're going to leave the NBA playoffs for the last topic this week because it's the longest one. It's the most interesting one. So let's go. Okay. First one, NBA. Before we do that, of course, mentioning the timer that we have. We're going to put how many minutes, Brian? 10?
I have right now 10 minutes. Do you want to put 10 minutes?
Yeah, 10 minutes. 2 per each person.
All right.
Okay. So let's do that. First person that will go is Josiah, then we'll go with Seth, then we'll go with Brian, and then I'll go last. Doesn't matter. So, NBA. Bulls fired this week Coach Jim Boylan. And yesterday we received news that the Pelicans fired Alvin Gentry. Josiah, I'm going to leave this to you to start because, well, Jim Boylan. But, yeah. So the question is for you guys, who should each team hire?
Okay. Well, let me start off by saying that it's about damn time that we got rid of Jim Boylan. He is the worst coach I've ever seen in my entire life, and it disgusted me watching him on our sidelines every game. So I'm glad he's gone, and he sucks. Okay, so after that, so let's see. Well, there are a lot of coaches, there are a lot of candidates out there that are viable candidates. I know the Bulls have met with a few already. Ime Udoka, who's the Philadelphia 76ers assistant coach, I should say. They met with him about a month ago. He has a connection to the Bulls because, they hired their newly hired general manager, Mark Eversley, used to work with Philly. So those two have a connection with each other. And Ime Udoka actually played in the NBA for a bit for the Spurs and the Kings. He was with the coaching staff for the Spurs for many years. That same team that won the title and beat the Heat, and there was in the finals the year before that. So, I mean, I think any coach that's a part of the Spurs staff is a good one. So he's a viable option. Also, they looked at Adrian Griffin, who is assistant coach for the Toronto Raptors, and he has a connection because, well, Arturas Karnisovas, our new vice president, those two actually played together in college at Seton Hall. So they know each other already. And Adrian Griffin actually played for the Bulls at one point. He was pretty good. And he's done a pretty good job with the Raptors. I mean, they won the championship last year, and he actually coached a game in the bubble. Nick Nurse gave him the opportunity to coach a game a couple games ago, and players were impressed by that. So he's another viable option. But the one guy that I really want is Kenny Atkinson, former Brooklyn Nets coach. I think he is the best option available right now, and he did a really good job with the Brooklyn Nets, a team that, for years were known as the team that got rid of all their first-round picks and made those terrible trades. Well, he was still able to make out pretty good teams out of the lack of first-round draft picks. And I remember a few years ago with that D'Angelo Russell team, they went to the playoffs, 6th seed, and they were supposed to be a lottery team. So he did a great job there. Now, I know that people were wondering why he got fired. I think it was still like a mutual agreement, I guess, that they, wanted for it to be done. But I like him. I think he's the best option for the Bulls. He'd be great. And for the Pelicans, I mean, Adrian Griffin would be great to develop those players and reach into their untapped potential, because Pelicans got
time
a good
is
young
up
team now,
half
so.
like 30 seconds
30
ago.
seconds, I was going to say, but I almost helped you.
Yeah, I know. I kind of got carried away. You know what?
It's your team. It's your team. We'll let it happen. But
Yeah,
Seth, go ahead.
If you ask
Seth, go
Josiah
ahead.
Bulls, I mean, that's bound to happen. If you ask him about any of his teams, then I think that's understandable. And for one, I actually agree with his pick for new Bulls head coach. The Nets fired somebody who they probably should not have fired, or you said mutual agreement, but I feel like when you lose an NBA head coaching job, mutual agreement kind of means fired. But he's somebody who, like you said, built the Nets. I mean, they lost out on all those picks. They didn't have star power, and he built them into a respectable team that made the playoffs, and then, of course, made the playoffs this year again after he got fired. He helped with some of that. I think he would be a great fit for the Bulls. I would also list another former head coach of the Brooklyn Nets as a possibility. I don't know if they would have a shot at Jason Kidd, but I think he might be an interesting choice for him. We saw what he did in Milwaukee. Of course, they weren't able to get over the finish line to make that team really what it's been now. But I mean, he helped in the development of that team for a couple of years. He's an experienced NBA head coach, and I think he would bring some stability to the team. So either of those choices, I think, would be great for the Bulls. For the Pelicans, I would go ahead and say somebody that I watched for a while. I would go, you know who I'm going with?
Yeah, Ty Lue.
Yeah, I'm going with Ty Lue. Also, somebody who, when the Cavs won the Eastern Conference Finals in 2018, he shouted out Columbia, Missouri on national television, which is pretty awesome.
Wasn't it Mexico, Missouri?
He's from Mexico, Missouri. That is correct. But he went to Nebraska for some reason. But he's somebody. Okay, coaching in the NBA, being a head coach in the NBA, I feel like we know is more about stars, about pleasing the best players on your team than actually being a good X and O's coach. He was able to coach LeBron, or really kind of coexist with LeBron for 4 years in total if you include his time as an assistant. I mean, that's something that if you wanna max out Zion and have him have a good relationship with your organization and with the management there,
yeah,
I think that would be positive. He knows how to get along with players, and that's how the Pelicans can make the next step to actually being a playoff team.
Okay, you took a little too much there, maybe for the next topic.
Okay.
Yeah.
I honestly think that those are really good candidates, guys.
Yeah,
I like the Chucky Atkinson for the Bulls.
Chucky?
I mean,
Any?
whatever. Wow, I'm sorry. I totally
Chuck
got
Atkins?
into my head and whatever, and it was like whatever.
Chuck Hayes?
But yeah, those are good. Those are good choices. I love Jason Kidd. I'd rather have Jason Kidd go to the Pelicans.
Yeah.
To tell you the truth, I'd rather him see what he could do with Zion and what he could do with a star. I mean,
Lonzo,
look at this. Jason Kidd didn't do a bad job when he was with Giannis, but Giannis needed another coach to take him to the other level. There is some coaches that end up being developmental coaches, and like I think that Jason Kidd is a really good candidate for like that New Orleans Pelicans job. The Bulls, man, I really like. I like Josiah is so much more passionate about the Bulls than I am. So like I can't really, that's why I'm like giving him the benefit of the doubt there. I don't know. It's kind of cool because my favorite player whose jersey is like right over there is going to become a coach soon enough. And I see all these coach openings come up and I'm like, maybe, whatever. We'll see what happens. Robert, what do you say?
Great analysis, Brian, by the way.
I know, that was amazing.
Tremendous.
I actually wasn't thinking of Jason Kidd until Seth mentioned him. But now that I think of it, he would be a really good fit with the Pelicans because we knew Alvin Gentry was a coach that was like a fast-paced coach. He wanted us to run fast and all of that. And Jason Kidd can be like that as well. And you mentioned him as a developmental coach with Zion. I feel like he would be a really good developmental coach for Lonzo. I feel there's a guy who's experienced, is one of the best point guards in history, can help Lonzo take that next step. We know Lonzo has shown potential. He's been bugged with injuries, but I feel like he can do better than what he's doing now, and Jason Kidd would be a really good coach for that. Yeah. So the Bulls, as sad as I am from seeing Jim Boylen leave that team and his Trumpian quotes. Kenny Atkinson is a good choice for you guys. I like him. He knows how to handle young players. We've seen what he's done with young players on the Nets. Whenever the good players were injured years prior, he was a good developmental coach for them. And I feel like he's a really good coach. But another option for them would be a guy that I've really liked for many years, and I feel like he's been such underrated coach that hasn't been signed for a couple of years, and that's Mike Woodson. I think he's a very good, strict coach.
Sure.
He knows how to coach a team really well. He did it with the Knicks.
Yeah, he did a great job with
Even
the
though the Knicks didn't give him much of a choice those last couple of years because every player left, the franchise is run terribly. Well, yeah, Mike Woodson, I feel like is one of the best players when it comes to chemistry and maintaining a good team.
That's a good one. Actually, I'm glad you brought that.
He
He did a good
coaching
job.
comes to mind each time a coaching position comes up. I feel like Mike Wilson's the guy, but he never gets valued.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, he did a great job with the Hawks before that. He was really
Yeah,
good.
exactly. I was thinking about that. The Hawks, he did a great job in
But
Atlanta.
the Knicks as well, even when Carmelo was injured.
They won 50 games with the Knicks. I mean, that's pretty good. Although, okay, Seth, let me just say, you were talking about Tyronn Lue and the fact that he might have been coexisting. He was absolutely coexisting with LeBron. Everybody knows LeBron was the GM. He was the vice president. He was the owner. He was the coach. He was the guy. Okay? Tyronn Lue, I get where you're coming from. I don't think he's that good of a coach. I think if he went to the help,
I
we're doing
honestly,
nothing for
I
that.
feel he's a good assistant.
I
coach.
think he'll be a good coach. I think he's going to be a candidate.
I
You'll
just-
know he'll be interviewed for both of
I
those
just
jobs.
feel like he's a good assistant coach, nothing else.
He'll be
agree.
interviewed for both of those jobs.
I don't
He's the
think he-
highest profile assistant coach in the NBA. You have to agree about that right now.
Yeah, but he's not the best. Nowhere near. So,
Um,
he's a good
I
coach.
I agree. I don't
I'll
think
give
he
you
is
guys
a
1
great
minute for
head coach.
lasting points right here, so you guys can talk.
I don't think he's a great head coach, but like I said, being a head coach in the NBA is more. It's not about X's and O's. It's about having the superstars on your side, especially when you have a once in a generation talent. That's
I
the
don't-
way
I don't agree with that take.
By
I
the
think
way-
it's definitely X's and O's are very important. And Ty Lue,
But you
like,
can hire.
that's a young team right there. There's a lot of young guys. Tyronn Lue is not the guy to be coaching a bunch of young dudes like that. He was good with LeBron because they had a good relationship and they already had they were led by a ton of veterans and like that team was already set. But
I mean-
you got a New Orleans team that's unproven and they got a lot of youth. I don't think Tyronn Lue would do anything to help that.
You know what? We've mentioned a bunch of coaches here, but none of us really mentioned anyone from like the college ranks.
Right
Which
now,
is
I
interesting,
feel like
with,
a
like-
position would happen right now with everything that's happening. I just don't feel that'd be.
I don't know if any of them even want to be in the NBA. I actually forgot to mention there was a few that I had in mind. before we-
I have one that-
going to the Bulls again. The comeback.
I have one in mind. But I don't think he's going to leave his job right now.
Who is it? Who is it?
Patrick Ewing.
No.
No,
He's not.
Ooh,
no,
He's
I
not going to leave. He's not going to leave.
I just don't think he's going to be a good NBA coach.
I'd say no to
Really?
that. I don't
Why?
know. Yeah,
Why,
maybe.
Rob?
Maybe.
I think he'll be a good NBA coach.
You don't never know. I don't know.
One
Maybe.
last-
I wouldn't say no though.
One last thing I want to say before this last minute ends. Got anything? Alvin Gentry should have been fired.
I
He was
agree with
fired-
that.
he was
I'm glad you
fired-
brought it up.
He was fired based on what happened in this bubble. And yes, they didn't get the results they wanted. But here's the thing. When you got a team that's young like they do, and you have a player who's going to be your franchise player for the next couple of years, who has to be on minutes restriction, and you have to baby him. There's not much options you have. Yes, the last couple of minutes, you had to see what's going to happen with the team, who you're going to put into rotation. But he had to manage the minutes really badly. Like they didn't give him much of a choice. I just feel they should have given him an extra year, and if it didn't work, then kick
I
him
don't
off. But
I
I
don't-
just don't feel that they did it based on this bubble, and I just don't feel it should have been at that.
Honestly, I understand the firing. I actually understand it. I don't know, but let me just say the two coaches I was going to say. Jacques Vaughn for the Brooklyn Nets. He has been pretty darn good for them. I mean, 5 games they won in a bubble with nobody. Everybody's hurt. Like that, there's something got to be said about that. And Becky Hammond. I mean, for the Spurs staff. I mean, how crazy would that be if she could become the first female coach ever? I would love to see that. And I
She
think
should be interviewed for both those jobs.
absolutely. I think she'd be good as a head coach too. I really.
I'd rather have Becky Hammond as a coach than Tim Duncan.
I don't know, man. I also see that happening, like him being the heir apparent in
I just
San
don't-
Antonio as well.
I don't see Tim Duncan being a coach.
why?
He
Why not?
won. He won the games when they was coaching. So how do you not see it?
Okay, I see more Tim Duncan being a coach than than Kevin Garnett.
I think you're just
think
you're
Kevin
just
Garnett
like in
even-
disagreement with the
Wait, wait,
dreads that he
wait, wait,
had.
wait. Where did you find Kevin Garnett was going to be a coach? Where was that
I mean,
even?
a couple of years before he retired, somebody made an article, I think.
Oh yeah, I
Oh.
actually saw it too. Better
That-
actor than coach.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, he's amazing actor.
Oh,
Amazing.
dude, Uncut Gems, he was really
I
good.
know he's amazing. Like,
I
wow.
know.
Like, I am surprised.
I hope he has a better career in acting than he did it with the show he had.
Area
Yeah.
21, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
What's the word? Equilibrious?
I remember that. Okay, let's move on to the next
Let's move
topic.
on.
Move on to the next topic.
Okay.
Got to
so
reset this. clock.
Obviously, as I said, this is going to be the end of the NBA talk because the NBA talk we're going to have later is the NBA playoffs. So let's move on to the MLB. We only have one topic for that. We don't want to go into the with it. I'm just going to mention a couple of stuff before we mention the topic. The Cardinals are finally playing, so that's good to see. You guys have anything to say about that?
Yeah, we beat them today. We hit 4 home runs in a row. White Sox beat them, although we lost the series. But it was cool to see us. It's cool to see the Cardinals finally play. I mean, my God. I mean, they were out for a while, so it's good that they're playing again.
Mookie Betts,
I was just going to say congratulations to them for playing their 7th game now on what is it, August 15th. So I think they deserve a clap from all of us.
Yeah. And Mookie Betts had 3 home runs the other day. 6 games with 3 home runs, which is insane.
No one cares. No one
803. I'm sorry, you don't have a close to player Mookie Betts is.
Okay, what's the next topic?
Okay. So the MLB topic we have is LeBron James partnering with the Dodgers for Dodger Stadium to become a polling site. I just want to hear you guys' thoughts on this because I know we talked about like the coronavirus issues and what this can do, what the Dodger, like a big place like this can do for like voting.
Yeah, I guess I'll start. Well, I think it's awesome. I think it's great allowing people to be able to vote. I mean, I think it's very important allowing them to have a say in this upcoming election. It's great to see that LeBron and the Dodgers, came together to do something like that. And of course, this stems from LeBron's group that he created 2 months ago, More Than a Vote. He created it to combat vote suppression. And, it's awesome. We've already seen, some teams and other organizations do it. The Atlanta Hawks, they made State Farm Arena a polling site. And I know the Milwaukee Bucks and the Detroit Pistons are considering it too. I think, they're going to do it actually. So no, this is very important for people to be able to have a say in the next election because you're deciding who the next president is. So this is great. And I also want to point out David Price, who opted out of the season, that actually part More Than a Vote as well. He's a part of that group, so that's good. But this was much needed, and it's really great to see that that LeBron and the Dodgers are doing that because it's very important for people in America. So.
Yeah, no, it's we're living in a very scary time for voting rights, with lots of voter suppression. We see stuff going on with the post office that's scary. So yeah, it's great to see LeBron, like Josiah said, it's great to see LeBron and the Dodgers come together to do something that can really, really help people. Like Josiah said, we're deciding the next president. There are obviously other elections as well, and it's great to see athletes getting involved and LeBron getting involved in making sure that everybody has a voice, doing what he can to make sure that happens.
I think it's awesome. I mean, anything that helps the election and helps people get more get voting is a positive. I find it interesting to be Dodger Stadium. I think it'll be like actually something that might motivate some voters to like go a little bit more to the polls. I mean, come on, instead of going to school, you get to go to Dodger Stadium. Why not? Go on, vote. Everybody vote. Make your choices. Make yourself heard. Robert, what do you have to say?
I mean, I don't know why you say like it was surprising to be Dodger Stadium. I mean, it's better than any other. It's the biggest of the stadiums in like the area in California, I guess. And you got all that space there. But yeah, what you guys said about like voter suppression and all that, I think it allows people to actually have more courage to go and vote and have a bigger ability than they had previous years. So yeah.
And hopefully this will create like more opportunities for other baseball organizations, not just baseball, but any other like organization with their teams, allowing their stadiums, their arenas to be polling sites, because like I said, I've said many times, it's important because we want to know who the next president's going to be. We want to be able to have a say in that. So hopefully that creates more of those opportunities.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Yeah. You guys have anything else to say?
I'm done. So that was
You're done?
quick compared
that
to.
Yeah. I mean, I guess there's nothing really big in MLB. I mean, there was a couple things in MLB, but yeah. I mean, I think this is like the most interesting news of the week. Along with the finals.
Fingers crossed for the Reds. No more outbreaks.
Oh wow, yeah, they're not playing as well.
Yeah.
That's tough, man.
So maybe it'll be good. Maybe it'll be okay.
Yeah. The Marlins are still playing well, so that's good.
Yeah, go Fish. Although they lost today.
And the Blue Jays had their first rain delay in since 2003.
They
Did you
did.
see that, Brian?
I didn't see that actually.
I didn't. Oh, because it's not a dome, of course.
Yeah, they had their first
It's in
rain delay.
Buffalo.
Also, what was the fun fact that Robert and I were talking about last week? That when they played in Buffalo for the first time, it was the first day that there had been 3 major league games in New York, in the state of New York, in 105 years, I think it was, which is crazy that that they never had the Giants, the Dodgers, and the Yankees play at the same time at home.
Yeah,
That is crazy.
yeah. I think the reason that in 2003 they had a rain delay was because I read it, and then supposedly they didn't close the roof on time before the rain came.
Oh, geez.
Morons.
Yikes! Man, wait. Oh, actually, how about the tarp crew for God? I forgot
I
which
didn't see
team.
that.
They
I
had the
didn't see that.
Skittles cover on it, and then they got it all messed up, and they had to like redo it and stuff, and like the game ended up being rained out. I forgot which game it was.
That's
God,
one of the best part of rain delays, watching people screw up with the tarps. Also,
I see people fall doing that before. I see
like
people get around the tarp.
did you see the message on the Orioles scoreboard this week that during a rain delay, something like the video operator is trapped in here and he's hungry, please send food?
I never saw
Scoreboard
that.
operator, they put that on the Jumbotron.
That's hilarious. I
Okay.
love it. That's fun.
Let's move on. That was a good MLB talk, not much, but next week we'll probably have more. So, NFL. I think this is the quickest we've ever moved to the NFL. We always take like an hour or something.
Yeah.
But NFL topics. Let's start with the Kelsey and Travis Kelsey and George Kittle signings.
Tight
So,
ends.
I don't remember how many was the years each other got, but so yeah. People were having a debate this week I saw on Twitter and on the TV, who is better between the two. So I just want to get you guys' thoughts on who is better between Travis Kelsey and George Kittle.
Well, okay. If we're gonna get into that conversation, I think it's George Kittle, because I mean they're both very good, very. I mean they're both the best receivers in their team as far as tight ends. But my thing because Kittle and Kelsey do things very similar. They both can make any type of catch. They're both great after the catch. But Kittle is hard to bring down, and also he came into the NFL. People forget he came into the NFL as a blocking first tight end. He was a block first tight end. He wasn't known as a receiver. So he actually kind of developed into that. And Kelsey was already known as a great receiver, but George Kittle's a really good blocker. And, the Niners had one of the best running games in the league, partially because George Kittle was blocking, and he did a really good job at that. And he can move guys when he blocks people. Kelsey has improved as a blocker as the years have gone on. But no, I think Kittle is a little bit better. But you could argue Kelsey, but I like George Kittle. It was cool seeing last year in the Super Bowl those two going after each other. I mean they're two of the best, obviously, but I like Kittle.
I would agree with that, and I would agree that it's a pretty close decision, and you can be defended. You can defend your decision whatever way you go. But the blocking ability is a good part of it. Also, the if you're Travis Kelsey, you have Patrick Mahomes and you have Andy Reid, which is kind of like a cheat code for anybody on offense. Which I'm not trying to take away from the fact that he's a really good player, but that's something you got to look at too. So I would go Kittle by a bit.
I'm basing my choice on age. Like, Kelsey, they're both pretty similar players. I mean, it's hard. They were both in the Super Bowl like the tight ends Super Bowl last year, so it's like, I mean, how do you decide? This is like, it's like Sophie's choice, but you have to go by age right now, and Kittle is 4 years younger. Like Kittle's 26 and Kelsey is 30. And
Mhm.
30 is not old, man. I'm 32, man, and I'm telling you,
For a tight end, it's not bad because tight ends last longer than some other people.
and sometimes they're smarter, but Kittle's a smart guy. I mean, I think that the age thing with them in terms of like veteranism or like Kittle's gonna like pick it up like that. He's a very smart player, and I know that like Kelsey. I think Kelsey is a little bit better now, but it's like by this much, and I'd rather take Kittle because of age, and that's my choice.
I'll go Travis Kelsey. I like the consistency. I'd rather see consistency. You've only gotten 2 years of George Kittle. I guess the money that they gave George Kittle was, I think he was underpaid for me. 7 million, I think he was underpaid. But still, I like Travis Kelsey more. I like his blocking ability a little bit more. So yeah.
I mean, keep in mind with George Kittle, yeah, he only really got 2 years because that 1 year was hurt. But remember 2018, he has the single season record for most yards by a tight end, which beat Travis Kelsey by a little bit. Like after Kelsey broke it, then Kittle did. So I mean, Kittle, I think both guys can only get better too. But I like Kittle as far as longevity. Now his durability has been an issue at times, but I think he's a more reliable guy. He's all around to me the better tight end, I think. So
He also likes wrestling, so I think he have like a long career in
yeah,
the
they
NFL.
both have like huge personalities. I mean, Travis Kelsey is more on the cooler side, I think. He also had his own show, like a knockoff of The Bachelor, which was wild. But then George Kittle, he's intelligent, and he's kind of crazy. I think he's very
You know what?
outgoing.
Since we're talking about Kittle, like last time I saw Kelsey, he was in the boat with his quarterback Mahomes,
Yeah.
having a good time in COVID times with some ladies. That's the last time I saw Travis Kelsey. So I don't know.
Just
I don't know.
see if you
Also-
can.
Go ahead.
No, you can say.
I was just going to say, too, apparently he purchased a STEM lab. That was his first purchase after the contract for underserved teens. So basically, like he's helping out the community in KC as well. So major respect for him there, too.
Wait, what were you trying to say?
Me?
Yeah, what were you gonna say something to me before Seth started?
Travis Kelsey's a brother. He's a brother. Oh,
I have no idea what you're talking about.
No, you don't. We're not even gonna get. Can we
All
move
right,
on?
let's not get to it. Let's
We're
not
not-
get to it. Let's move on, Robert.
Okay. Next topic is actually a new segment I want to introduce to you guys before we move on to the other football topics. So I'm gonna do a Moron of the Week award.
Moron of the week.
I think I'm gonna call it "Bruh, is you stupid?" I'm gonna call it like that. So if you guys saw earlier this week, I don't know how to pronounce his name, Kemah Sivaran for the Seahawks, an undrafted rookie, decided to sneak a female into the team hotel, and she was wearing team gear. So I'm just gonna start this off. As I always say, are you dumb or stupid? First of all, you're an undrafted rookie. You don't have a guaranteed deal, and you decide to pull off this shit right here. Like, I know you have your needs, man, but really, you're playing for a career here.
Yeah. I didn't actually watch the video. I just heard about it, so like I don't know a whole lot about it, but yeah, that's not the smartest.
Wait, there's a video? There's a video?
There's video?
Video, yeah.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
But I haven't seen it. But yeah, that's just you're trying to make the team. And by the way, no preseason games, so there's no chance for him to be playing any game. Like it's already tough as an undrafted free agent to try to make a team. Now you just oh my God. Like come on.
He put his needs over his career.
I mean, I just don't know how this didn't work. It seems like a foolproof plan. You just dress her up in team gear, and then you try to bring her in with the team. Man,
Yeah.
it really sounds like something that that for sure would have worked.
This
Yeah,
isn't. This
it's
is Russell.
definitely gonna work.
I'm walking out. This is Russell Wilson. This is
Yeah, yeah,
No,
yeah.
no, this is
No,
our.
no, that's
She's like this is our kicker. We're
Yeah,
we're
like
doing the
having
whole
real-
Carly Lloyd thing. We're
Oh,
we're,
God.
we're trying out ladies. Like we
Or-
should
or,
have lady kickers. I don't mind
Mr.
having lady
Unlimited.
kickers.
I gotta
But
say,
this is what
I
this
say-
is.
I was just gonna say that this guy's probably watched She's the Man one too many times.
No, yeah, what are you talking about? This is Jason Myers.
Amanda Bynes shout out.
Wow,
Yeah.
she's the man. You're
Who
just
would have thought? Who would have thought that
That was
Amanda?
like a 2000 movie, right? I was like probably 2 when that came out.
Yeah, 2. Whoa, that old.
He has to be really old, like 20 years old.
But yeah, what are the needs? Here's the thing. My main thing is like the fact that if he's an undrafted rookie, like if you were drafted, like I don't know, maybe I'd take I don't know. As an undrafted rookie, like I feel I'd be like the less invited person in the party. And like I feel like I wouldn't bring any guests with me because you don't bring an uninvited guest to the party if you're like the less invited person to that party.
Unless
So-
you come up with a better plan to sneak them in than dress them in team gear. If you're gonna do this, if you're gonna try to sneak somebody in, come up with a better plan, please. It would be, although this was entertaining, I would say that would be more entertaining, but this was really entertaining for us. So thank you.
It's DK Metcalf. I mean, come on. We know it's DK because he's a tank, So
Yeah,
they
yeah.
wouldn't notice that at all,
This is Mr. Unlimited.
Like
Unlimited.
but imagine being the coach in that room, having to cut that player at that like because of this.
Well, what was the cut though? Do we know that yet?
I heard he was released.
Was he?
Yeah, he was cut from the team, man.
Yikes.
You pull that stupid shit,
Well,
you're
hey,
out, man.
hey, think about it this way. He can be with his girlfriend whenever he wants.
Yeah, that woman was probably not his girlfriend. He just met her right there and said, "Man,
Okay,
I have needs. I got to do this shit."
He can be with whoever that girl is whenever he wants now.
Hold on. What's his name again? I totally forgot his name
I think.
already.
Kemal Stivaran.
All I know, man,
Okay, yeah, you're right.
Is
He
he a
did get.
quarterback or something?
he got
was.
released. He was a cornerback,
He's a
I believe.
quarterback. Wow.
Yep, he was cut. You're right. You guys are right. Just making sure.
But yeah,
I want to see the
Dude.
video.
I bet his agent was furious.
Oh man.
His agent, his family was furious. That
Hey,
man,
Mom,
if he got a guaranteed job, he was gonna help his family. Now he can't help his family.
Hey mom, so I got cut today.
Oh boy, what'd you pull?
Tell you the story.
I can't imagine that conversation that he probably has already had it with his parents about it. Oh, yikes. Jeez. All right, what's the next topic here?
I needed the. I needed the rubber. No. Okay.
Is it another NFL topic?
Yeah. So I think we have enough time for the NBA topic. So we can just go on and give it 10 minutes for the college football topic you guys wanted to do, and 10 minutes for the other. I don't remember what's the other one.
Here, can we go? If we're gonna do that order, can we go to the Hard Knocks since it's NFL? And
Yeah,
then
we
go
have
NCAA?
enough topic. We can go the next 20 minutes discussing all that.
All right, let's go real quick. You guys seen Hard Knocks?
No,
Hold on. Wait. I have. But wait a sec. We need to touch. I don't know if it'll be now, but we have to touch on the Alex Smith.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Oh, we will.
That's the topic I read. Let's do that after this.
Okay.
I just want to mention. I wanted to mention Hard Knocks this week because it's the first glimpse we have of the NFL season. Like really, and it's
Chargers
the first.
and Rams, right?
What?
So it's both the Chargers and the Rams, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's LA teams. And I found it really interesting because it gave me the first glimpse of what these NFL teams are doing in terms of measures of COVID and stuff. I mean, they're all paranoid and it's all like I found it like amazing. And I see that there are measures being taken and everything. Like I saw and it's interesting seeing like Sean McVay talk about the measures with like his like the assistant. Um, but yeah, I don't know. It gave me a little bit of optimism, but the other bigger issue is that there's so many of them. There's so many players in a team that I was like, how do you keep them distant? At least like these teams in Hard Knocks, they were building like outdoor like workout facilities and like trying to do as much outdoor stuff and like open air stuff as possible. But at some point I was like, oh my God, even like they're testing, like they're all going into like these inside areas of testing and they're all like going in group and it's just like I don't know, like I was even paranoid when while I was watching the show about the measures and everything. So I don't know how you guys feel about it, so just let me know your thoughts.
I mean, I watched it too. I mean, it was weird. It was interesting seeing, how they set up the tent and everything for that. Although the first the first 20 minutes or so was just all testing, so it's kind of boring. But like that's kind of, I mean, I'm not really surprised. It's kind of what I expected to see. It's interesting though. It does look like the Rams and the Chargers are trying to make this happen. They're trying to be safe about this. So it looks like they're really following protocol. And it's crazy how, I mean, you've got to mention Anthony Lynn. I mean, he had COVID at one point, and seeing his interaction with the players on the Zoom call was crazy. So that was interesting. My favorite moment though, Brian, was Dante Dion. When he was talking to Aaron Donald, he was like, you see me, Aaron, I'm ripped. And Aaron's like, yeah, you big ribs. And you got Aaron Donald as a freaking tank. He just built like a bowling ball. Like, oh my God.
And like, isn't that the same time he was like ripping about like the locker room?
I think so. Yeah. He was.
Yeah, I like that. How like some players like they just have like this like tiny locker, and then like the players that are for sure gonna make the team have like the actual lockers.
Yes. That was great. I love seeing that. It was just cool to be able to see just like anything NFL related again. And I mean, it's interesting. I mean, and we're not going to be able to for the rest of all the episodes, because usually you'd see the preseason games and stuff, but there are no preseason games. So I don't know what they're going to do for like
how they're going to cut players. Like what's the drama going to be built upon, like, because like half of the drama built in Hard Knocks is like the preseason games and how like this player that all of a sudden you fell in love with because they like make you fall in love with a player that's on the fringes. And like you like actually pay attention to that team's preseason game because you want to see that player that you're watching on Hard Knocks. So that's not going to happen this year. But I found it amazing to like watch and to see like any NFL thing, anything that was NFL related, and it really made me feel a little bit more comfortable about the upcoming season. I don't know what you, Seth. Anything? Did you watch it, Seth?
I mean, no, I have not watched Hard Knocks. Okay. Well, I don't have HBO, and I haven't done anything illegal.
Easy. There's a thing called the internet. You can
What?
actually
Don't do that. Don't not act like it. I don't like sponsoring piracy.
Maybe for other things. As long as is the FBI listening to this, is there a way to check to see if the FBI is streaming this right now? But I don't do that kind of thing. I'll just say, just in case they're listening. But no, I haven't watched it, but I think it would be cool to see how teams are handling the COVID protocols. I wonder how different it is team by team. And just to see how kind of the normalcy of football interacts with like the craziness of a pandemic. Does sound like it would be interesting to watch.
Yeah. And also
that's what I found interesting with Sean McVay. Because he was like, oh, I'm here with my fiance, and all of a sudden like, oh, he's there in the facilities and he's just like trying to be all cool. He like gives off these Gruden vibes that are just like freaky. He is his child.
They're both from around the Dayton area.
I know that, and he's from Gruden's coaching tree.
Mm-hmm,
but it is like a freaky mini-me clone type thing that they have there. I don't know, Josiah, you were going to say something?
Yeah, well, first off, Robert could not look any less interested in what we're talking about. No, Tyrod Taylor, his hair, oh my God. You guys need to check out how Tyrod Taylor, his hair just is huge now. He's got like a giant afro. I don't even know how he fits that into a helmet. I really don't know how he does it, but it's funny seeing like players in like their post-quarantine hairstyles and stuff. Like that's great. but no, it's cool being able to watch that again. I mean, I have my opinion on the teams that were on it. I didn't feel like the Rams in charge would be all that interesting. But I mean, maybe they could be. I mean, there's still other episodes to see, but it was cool just finally being able to watch something football related again. So
Tyrod Taylor, week 1 starter, actually, most probably.
probably could be. It very well.
I mean,
could
with no preseason, I'd put my money on it.
Well, I don't know if I'd say that. I think Herbert could really, if he does well in training camp and stuff, who knows? But like, yeah, Tyrod has the advantage because no preseason game. So, and he's always been a solid QB. He's always been a good veteran QB. I mean, he led the Bills to playoffs. I mean, he lost his job to Baker, but like, it's not like he was playing terribly. I mean, he's always been a solid starter and a great backup. So.
Sure, I agree with that. Robert, I think I got my fix on with this topic. I don't know, Robert. You want to move on to
Yeah,
Alex Smith?
I have
Let's talk
nothing
about
else to
Alex
say.
Smith.
I was just gonna say there's something I want to listen to. I haven't listened to it yet, but it looks like a really good idea for a podcast. So you guys know who Kyle Brandt is?
Yes, I love him. I love him.
So I sent it to you the other day, and I think it's a really good concept for a show. So he started a podcast called 10 Questions, and he goes for like 2 hours asking like people like 10 questions. And his first episode was Aaron Rodgers, and I saw clips of it. It was pretty interesting. And Aaron Rodgers is drinking whiskey throughout the whole episode.
That's funny. I actually didn't realize that was a podcast. I need to subscribe to that.
I'm gonna listen to it this week. Well, yeah, let's move on. So Alex Smith finally cleared to play. Hasn't played in 2 years. This is really good news, even though he plays for the Washington Football Club. But this is really
football team.
I like the club more.
Me too.
Club.
It
Club.
sounds like a soccer team.
Club.
It's like a soccer team, so I like it more. Okay. Yeah. What do you guys think?
Okay. All right. Well, first of all, I am so happy for him, man. This was a really gruesome injury, and not a lot of people thought that he would come back from it. I mean, seeing it happen was awful. It's really bad. And it's crazy to because everyone talks about, Joe Theismann, November 18th, that same date, 33 years difference between that. It's crazy. Joe Theismann and Alex Smith both broke their right tibia and fibula on November 18th, just 33 years of separation. Like, that's crazy. But seeing Alex Smith being able to come back and try to give this a shot is awesome, because I had read about, his injury and his rehab and stuff, and his leg at one point, it looked horrible. So the pictures are gruesome. He almost lost his leg. So like the fact that he's back and giving it a shot is unbelievable. I don't know if you guys saw the video of his family dousing it with champagne and stuff. That was awesome to see. And he might have a shot to. I mean, I'm assuming Dwayne Haskins will be the starter, but we'll see what happens to Alex Smith. If he doesn't get the starting job, which I don't really think he will, he'll be a great backup and a great mentor, because for years, Alex Smith, when he's with the Chiefs and the Niners, especially the Chiefs, he was so reliable, so good, and in certain years, amazing. So couldn't be happy for him. It's awesome.
I don't know. Did you guys watch the ESPN thing?
No.
What is
ESPN did like Project 11, E60 of Alex Smith and his injury and his road to recovery, and that's where I saw the whole gruesome injury. Dude, like he almost lost. Like it's like his whole leg was like excavated, and it almost to the bone. It was to the bone. You saw the bone. It was awful. And then they had to take piece from his thigh, or I don't even know, to create the rest of the leg. It's a whole big deal. Amazing that he can still play. I believe it's abdomen, actually. I don't know I don't know. I don't know what other piece they made to create the bottom part of his leg again. I'm rooting for him. I was rooting for him after watching the whole documentary, and his family's beautiful, and I'm hoping that he has at least 2 more years because left in him. I don't think he should be out there for that long, because I know that he lost some mobility in the leg, especially in the ankle. So I don't know how much of that is going to be a risk for him in terms of the rest of his life. But I mean, the dude wants to be out there, so more power to him. And he's under contract with the Washington Football Club. It's not like he's a free agent and like waiting for a team to sign him or anything. He's actually under contract.
You said it wrong again. It's a football team.
No,
You know what?
that's
Yes.
we said it.
Calling
we
him-
said it
no, no, no.
right. You just gotta stop. We
calling-
say it right.
I'm calling
You
him
say it wrong.
from now on DCFC. That's
You're
my
being educated wrong. It's
okay.
club.
Ryan,
Whatever.
what else?
They're gonna have a new owner soon anyway, so it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, probably. Hopefully.
Seth, anything on Alex Smith?
Yeah. I mean, the crazy part, like you talk about it in a football context. Of course, you can talk about it like in a life context with his leg, but like apparently, like he had sepsis after like the whole injury, and like he legitimately apparently could have died. Like they were worried about like legitimately like whether he would survive this. So to go from that to being able to play football again, I mean, is a remarkable story. I don't know how good he'll be, but just that getting to this point, honestly, I'd say if that happened to me, and especially if I had a 13 or however many year career, I would be like, okay, I think I'm out. I'm gonna get into coaching or broadcasting or something other than playing the sport that almost killed me. But ultimate respect to him for deciding to come back, and yeah, it should be a good backup for the Washington Football Club.
I
Oh.
totally see him as a
Who's
broadcaster.
worse, that one or the Seth Miller one?
What'd you say?
What was worse, that one or the Seth Miller one?
No, I actually was gonna say this reminded me of the Zach Miller one. It's
Because he needed to be amputated, and he was in critical condition of about dying. He was like a few minutes from dying.
no, his situation was very similar to Alex Smith. The difference is Alex Smith came back. Zach Miller didn't. His career ended. So I mean, you could say it was because it was Zach Miller, but I mean, I don't know. They're both.
That previous
I
injury.
also think Alex Smith would not be back if he was not under contract. Like I really cannot foresee him being signed as a
Well,
free
he's not
agent.
gonna start. He's gonna be the QB, right? The backup, right?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel like some team would take.
I think they're gonna give it to I think they're gonna give it to Haskins. But if Haskins doesn't start right, then we're gonna give it to Alex Smith.
I mean, I feel like that some team would definitely kick a flyer on him just because of the name, because you don't know.
Really?
You don't know what you're gonna get from him. That's the thing.
I mean, I think someone might take a chance, but I think that he would be a player that would have been evaluated in preseason and would have not made cuts afterwards, especially with the amount of young quarterbacks that come into the league
What
from
team
time to
is he going
time. And it's just like he is really like right now, he is under a good contract with the Washington Redskins, not a backup contract, not a
Where's the
backup QB
contract he
contract.
had with-
you said the
I,
name.
I said the name. Okay, I said the name. I'm sorry.
Gotta say, Washington.
Strike me,
football-
Lord Almighty of the NFL.
The contract he has is the same one that he had with the Chiefs, right?
What's that?
No, he has the contract that he signed with the Washington football team when he went
Wow, you said it
to.
Why? Why?
What do you mean? Why?
Yeah, I thought we were all together here on the club thing.
No,
he was never with you
it's
guys.
the football team. It was a lame choice. I agree. Let's just agree with the fact that the football team was a very lame choice. They should have gone with football club. They should have gone with many other things.
Oh, that's why I'm saying DCFC. I'm saying
Washington,
I
They
like
should
that.
have gone with DCFC.
I like
Maybe.
that.
Washington Football Academy.
What?
Nah, that just sounds weird. That
That's horrible.
sounds like a place that you go for the summer.
Yeah,
to,
it sounds minor league, which I mean, honestly, I could see them as a minor league team. So, yeah,
Whoa.
we
You
trained.
guys
Don't say that about the
wait,
Washington
You guys
football
froze
team.
for like a minute there.
Seth, let's keep in mind your Browns team was practically a minor team for years, so you shouldn't be
Can't
going to the Washington
argue.
team.
Not argue that.
Careful what you're.
Let's not forget that between all this, the game after he got injured, Mark Sanchez started the game. So
Oh my God! Yes.
Don't hate on Mark Sanchez, you guys. He
No,
did
Mark
okay.
Sanchez. I respect Mark Sanchez. Okay, his
Did-
career didn't
wait,
go the way.
that was his Thanksgiving game. He started. Thanksgiving.
Here's the thing with Mark Sanchez. Mark Sanchez never recovered after the butt fumble. He never recovered. He never recovered.
Well, you know what? You know what? He
I
did have
just
a good.
don't understand how you can't recover because of one play.
No.
What-
He did have a good. No. Let me say this. He did have a good stretch with Philly for a little while. He actually had some good games for them. He got an opportunity there. He won some games. So he still carved out pretty decent roles, and then he just became a good backup, a good mentor. He was a good mentor for Dak Prescott with the Cowboys, and he was good with Mitch Trubisky for the Bears. So, I mean, and he's a good analyst on TV. I mean, he's still, figuring out a good career somewhat. Obviously, didn't pan out the way that he would have wanted to, but I respect the dude. So,
But
Can't
here, hey, now that we brought Mark Sanchez and we're doing this whole bonus talk, all those SC products, man, never panned out. Like the best one was Reggie Bush, but all those SC products like really didn't like become as powerful as I thought they'd be.
Now you got Darnold.
I know. Now I
Yeah.
have I
pressure's
have to
on.
put my hopes on Darnold.
I mean, God, you think of like Matt Leinart, Matt Barkley. God, those guys failed. I mean,
Yeah.
Barkley was never expected to be good though. He should have gone to the NFL a year earlier, and he went too late. He played for the Bears though for like a year or two, and he was okay. But his career never got anywhere. And Matt Leinart started off good, and then it just went downhill from there.
Yeah, but he left like a year too late also, because I think he would have like been in the top 10 if he had left the year before. He would have been in top 5, I think, probably.
Maybe. I just wanted to say it would be awesome. I know it's far-fetched to even say, but it would be awesome to see Alex Smith just come back and just play great again. I mean, just seeing him come back
right there. Yeah.
he played well, I'd be so happy for him. I'm really rooting for him.
What, you expect me to say I want him to play terribly? No, of course I want him.
I'm gonna be really honest. I watched that documentary on E60, and it's like I'm gonna be looking at that leg like the whole entire time he's in there.
You're gonna be staring at that leg, Brian.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna be looking at it because I'm like, oh man, I don't want it to like pop. I hope everything's good. Because it shocked me. It so shocked me, bro. It shocked me.
Yeah, but I think it's funny how you're saying that. I'm gonna watch the leg. I can only imagine if we all watch the football game.
He's gonna be looking at it to be like,
Yeah,
I'm gonna be staring at it. He's gonna be back there. I'm gonna be staring at it, and it's like the whole thing. Like I know, like it's like because it's not the same. That leg is not the same.
Mm-hmm.
Like he can still be cleared for football activities. He can be whatever, but that leg is not the same as like another leg.
Well, yes, of course, another leg. But like, I can only imagine, like Brian, you watching a game with other people, a Washington game, if you would at all. I don't know if anyone that would, but if you
I would watch anything.
Everybody else is like Adrian Peterson looked good, man. Terry McLaurin making plays, and Brian's like, what's going on with his leg? What's happening with his
I'm like literally, I'm gonna be staring at it. I'm sorry, and like Alex Smith, I'm rooting for you, man. I really am.
We all are. I hope Alex Smith. I wish him the best, man. I really do.
okay,
Robert, I think we can move on to the next topic.
does Timer want to talk?
What's that?
Does Timer want to talk?
No, I don't think so.
God.
I like the name Timer.
Continue.
Yeah. Okay. Last football topic. Seth, I'll give it to you.
Okay, so this is college football is kind of my thing, and we got some college football news this week when the Big Ten and the Pac-12 announced that they were not playing in the fall, that they're going to try to look at a spring season. It's really been a crazy last week and a half in college football, because there was talk of all the Power 5 leagues deciding that together, but then the SEC, the Big 12, and the ACC decided, no, we're going to go ahead with this thing, at least for the moment being. And then you also have everything going on with the players movement, where players are saying, yeah, we actually want to play. Like, you can talk about exploiting players, but we want to play. Just make sure we're compensated at least in some way. At least there's good testing procedure, all that. I know Justin Fields was a major part of that, which is awesome to see. And I'm conflicted on whether we should have a college football season or not. I would lean towards no, but seeing those players with that passion really has been cool for me. What do you guys think?
Yeah, well, let me. I mean, it's because of course I've said for a while that I don't think there should be a season. I don't see why there can be. But at the same time, like you said, Seth, seeing guys like Justin Fields, put that petition now, have the people sign it. Seeing the parents of Iowa, Penn State, Ohio State speaking out talking about saying that they want this decision to be reversed by the Big Ten. I get it. I understand it because, like, think about it. You look at it from the players' standpoint. You got seniors who want to be able to live out their last season, and these conferences, Big Ten and Pac-12 are like preparing for hopefully the spring. But we don't even know if there could be a spring. I mean, we don't even know because guys like
yeah. Or go ahead. I'll mention later.
Okay, yeah. So like guys like Justin Fields who are trying to get ready for the NFL next year, he may not be able to play a game. The seniors won't be able to finish their career out and play a game. So, and they really want to play. So I completely understand where they're coming from with that, and I understand where the parents are coming from. So I see both sides of it. I really do. And with seeing the SEC and the other conferences, kind of hesitating about it, it's crazy. It's insane. And like I said, I agree with you, Seth. I think I lean more towards, there not being a season, but I get it because, these players want to be able to live out, their last year, some of them. And I get how important that is to them. So, I mean, yeah, I get it wholeheartedly.
I honestly, I think, first of all, the NCAA should do like a whole, if a player should not lose their eligibility year, because of the 2020 and like should give another eligibility year for players who actually want to come back and play due to professional things or whatever, or maybe like do a year when they're doing a graduate program or something like that, which I've seen happen before. My big issue was saw also an article today that was like some Big Ten officials where they were questioning whether they canceled too soon now because of the whole saliva test because of the FDA as well. Like I read an article about that too, but I mean, but it's tough. Like the thing is, you got to understand these are young kids that aren't being paid, and the fact that these are young kids that aren't being paid, and then they're gonna have this risk of a disease that they could possibly even die from, like, and not even that, like the whole Big Ten, the whole argument was, and they were saying it was because of the heart disease that can later happen due to the coronavirus. That was like a big issue for them. And I get it because like they're young kids. These are young kids, and you can't just have you guys like risk your lives because of this whole thing. I mean, even going to college right now for you guys
It's
is
risky.
Like you guys that are in college, even doing DoorDash like you're doing, Robert, or doing Uber or doing something like that, that's risky.
Okay, they didn't need to know that.
But the truth is, like, it's risky even being in college. Like, I read an article today about a sorority in Arizona. Did you read about that article? A sorority in Arizona that had like 22 cases of coronavirus.
One sorority
house in Arizona. They just started school. And all of a sudden now everybody has corona. That's the whole thing about like that. You had to see how the disease was going to react when kids got back to school. And now we're clearly seeing the picture, and like it's going to be really hard for a football season to happen, especially because you don't pay them. Like you can't put these kids at risk without paying them.
Robert?
My fear is that they're going to travel, and if they travel and go to school at the same time, they're exposing it to more people and more people. And yeah, I mean, that's my thing. They're going to be in a lot of different areas. This is way different for college sports than it is for professional sports because they only go to two different areas. They go to either the hotel or their homes and the stadium. These guys have to learn a lot of other stuff, and they're exposing themselves more to the virus.
Yeah, well, and that's something kind of piggybacking on what both you and Brian said, some of the points, because I think you all bring up interesting things here. There's the idea that the saliva test, like Brian mentioned, this new test that's apparently going to be a breakthrough thing that maybe we can find out immediately if somebody has coronavirus. By the way, partially developed, I guess, by the NBA. The NBA helped fund this, which is pretty for the, like I was watching the national news tonight and they were like, yeah, the NBA has solved like coronavirus testing.
Never say sports aren't important. They're helping.
Yeah. So congratulations to Adam Silver on that one. Maybe
I gotta say that whole thing of the and the saliva test, like it is what you say. You gotta say like props to Adam Silver and props to the NBA for like being extremely proactive at
Hmm.
something. There was an issue to getting back to work, which was testing. Let's fund testing because that could be a breakthrough in terms of helping the whole entire world in America to like work again and then not feel as guilty for our tests and especially because like each molecular test that you're doing up to a player is one that you're taking away from like a patient outside. So now this is like that whole guilt that the NBA had because of that, it just poofed, gone.
Yeah, yeah,
Amazing.
no, it's awesome by the NBA, and a couple of other things. Like that's one of the reasons if you're arguing to play, like I think that's a legit point. Also the idea that these players, even if they're not compensated, they say they want to play. That's a legitimate thing for me. As long as you, they say basically, as long as we agree that you keep your eligibility, like Brian said, if you don't want to play. So I think those are two legitimate points for playing. But to go off something Robert said, yeah, it's not just them and it's not just their families. They could be playing a major part in this, especially when you have so many teams. They could play a major part in this disease really spreading. So I
Also,
think that,
look at it this way. Compared to a high school where you go to a smaller classroom, in college you go to freaking lecture halls.
Mhm,
That have what 300 students.
mhm, yeah, as long
But
as everybody.
you might expose it to one person.
Yeah,
That
but
other
I'm
person
sure that your schools
and then you have a college campus which people are crossing each other. And yeah,
but I'm sure that schools are gonna do stuff about lecture halls and like limit all that and have a lot of online
that's
classes.
really hard considering like
I mean,
Like
Mizzou,
I wouldn't go to a lecture hall right now.
I wouldn't go either.
Mizzou has not done much about it right now. They haven't really addressed it that much. So I mean, I don't know.
I mean,
I know
I guess
that
you
I
guys
have,
will
like,
see
two
when you get to
classes online.
campus.
Hey, I got one more thing on the college football thing before we lose
I
time
have-
or run out of time.
Me too.
Okay, I'll go quick. So also what's interesting is when you have basically these seasons got canceled right after the players talked about the possibility of something like a players union. If this pandemic ends up being what causes the NCAA to kind of the players to stand up to the NCAA and actually leads us to a new era in college sports, I mean, that would be pretty awesome on the players' parts. And I'd love to see that whether we have a season or not.
Yeah, I totally agree. You guys brought a lot of good points too, but yeah, Seth. Actually, what I was going to say kind of relates to that because I want to get back to just for a second the players and the parents, speaking out, especially for the Big Ten. They're not only speaking because they want to be able to play, but they're also speaking because they want to be giving a choice to be able to play or not. Because the parents, especially, they're wondering. Well, players also are wondering, like they don't know a whole lot enough from the Big Ten. They haven't been getting a whole lot of information from the Big Ten as to why this season's being postponed. They want to know more. They want to be given the choice to play. And then once they're given that choice, now they can make a decision on what they think about the season. And Seth, you've mentioned many times, giving players the ability to speak out, and college players especially being able to have their voices be heard, and that can be pretty powerful. I'm not saying Justin Fields his thing's going to work out, but you give players the opportunity to speak out and their voices start getting heard, and you see people and more people start to support it. It's powerful stuff. So
Cool.
yeah, that's my point. So
I don't know. I foresee there's gonna be some college football conference that's gonna risk it, but I think the majority won't.
What might happen too is we might get like 2 weeks and then everything falls apart, along with colleges on campus in general. So we'll see. It'll be interesting.
Also, you have like big name schools that come from like the states that are hotspots like Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And
those are
Florida is a big name school when it comes to sports.
Yeah, and if we predict anything from Florida is that they're gonna act like everything's normal.
Yeah, or Arizona State or like Arizona, all those schools.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah. So I'm ready for this last topic. Hey, let's get into it. You guys ready?
Oh yeah. I mean, I've been waiting for this whole time.
Okay. Before we go into that, so I was on Twitter, and ESPN2 is trending. You guys want to know why?
Sure.
Because everybody's so sometimes they do a Statcast episode of Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN2, and everybody's switching to that channel because nobody can stand A-Rod.
Actually, but I was trying to stream like the Red Sox Yankees, and I saw that Statcast as an option. I'm like, but then I just chose the regular.
I switched it to ESPN2, even though I'm not listening. But yeah, the only ones to listen to. Okay, the big topic: NBA playoffs, first round. So we're gonna go through the East first, and then we'll go to the West.
Should I start the timer? Or what do you want me to do about Mr. Timer here?
So how do we do? I don't know how do we do it for like the last because we're not gonna do.
What I think we should do is for each matchup, talk about each of us talk about one matchup. It doesn't have to be all for 10 minutes. I feel like we could just have like 1 point for like each matchup, and then like towards the end of each of them, we could have like further discussion.
We'll give 5 minutes per matchup now, and then we'll see if we need bonus time.
Yeah, and then we do last 5 minutes for like the entire conference.
Are we going to be only picking the first round?
Yeah, right now, yeah.
Cool.
We'll do that when it's time for that.
Awesome.
Okay. So, the Eastern Conference. First matchup we're going to go through is the Milwaukee Bucks against the Magic. Well, can we skip this?
No, we can talk about. We don't have to talk about a lot about this. I'm assuming we won't have a long discussion about it. I guess I'll start about it. So this isn't going to be a series. I think the Magic are going to lose. They're not going to win a game. The Bucks just got too much length, too much. What?
You're gonna say a sweep,
dude?
Can you believe that?
You think the Magic are going to lose to the Bucks? You're crazy.
Oh yeah. Crazy, right? But yeah, Giannis, Middleton, they're gonna do their thing. I mean, they got too much length, too much size, too much athleticism. I mean, the Magic have some good players. I mean, Aaron Gordon, Vucevic, Fournier, Markelle Fultz, Terrence Ross, but they are not even close to the level of the Milwaukee Bucks. You know, if they had Jonathan Isaac, maybe they would have a chance to win a game, but they don't stand a chance. You know, the thing I'll be interested in though, not just this series, but the rest of the playoffs, is Eric Bledsoe. Because last year in the playoffs, he was disappointing. He started off really well.
Wasn't that the last 2 years he's been disappointing?
I mean, yeah, he's had his playoff woes. So this year is going to be very important for him. If the Bucks won this year, he's got to step up and he's got to play well. So I'll be interested to see that in this series and for beyond. But yeah, Bucks in 4 easily.
Yeah, I got Bucks in 4 as well. The Magic, poor Orlando, they're going to run into a buzzsaw. I got a sweep as well. I think we might see at least a couple of blowouts.
I mean, they got home court advantage. That's the one advantage they have. Everybody else.
Yeah, no, they're actual.
That's
teams.
where I was going. Why don't you like they're the one team with home court advantage, so I expect them to at least steal one game, especially with how bad the Bucks have been playing. Like
I forgot that they have home court advantage.
Like the Bucks didn't play that well. In these bubble games.
They're packing it in. They had the first seed. They didn't need to really go out. They just need their players to get reps and play. They weren't supposed to play that. I mean,
but I think that the mix of that and the mix of I think Orlando will steal a game. It doesn't mean that the Bucks aren't going to make a run. I'm just saying they'll steal one game.
No,
Robert.
You know what? I'll go with Brian. They'll steal a game. I don't know what game.
One game,
but they're going to steal a game.
Nope.
And what? There's gonna be a guy not named Nikola Vucevic who's just gonna go for like 30-something points in one of these games.
Markelle Fultz is gonna do it.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of Markelle Fultz. No, Michael Carter Williams.
Oh God.
Yeah. I mean, of course, Milwaukee's gonna win this series. What do you want me to say? I mean, they have no one to stop Giannis right now. But I can say it's a sweep, but I can give them a chance to win a game. So,
but hold on, the whole Bucks not playing well. Like they were resting their players towards the end, and they were just trying.
I don't think he's meaning those last 2 games. I think he meant like the.
No, I meant overall.
Overall,
I know what he meant, but I'm not reading into that.
That's gonna lead me to something.
One game. I'm just saying they're gonna steal one game.
Okay.
It's just
But I just
one game.
And that's gonna lead me to something Seth. I told.
Have you guys
Seth
ever seen Little Giants? It's just a game. It's one game.
What game is it? Game 1, 2, 3, or 4?
Game 3.
Okay.
Game 3 also.
They're not going to win any games. So,
One
I'm with-
game.
all right, let's move on to the next one.
Move on.
This
Next
is-
topic.
You know
Next
why
one.
I think they're gonna win a game? Because
Why?
they'll probably decide let's risk Giannis. Why not?
I don't know. They have bodies to throw at Giannis, so it's not like.
Yeah, they have bodies. Nothing. I mean, no one's going to touch that
At all.
If they had John, that's why I said if they had Jonathan Isaac, he would be a really good matchup for Giannis. But they don't have him.
Because of the length. Yeah, because of the length. But
All right, let's just
My
move on.
God.
Next
Grant,
next matchup. Next matchup.
No, Isaac's the best good matchup. Come on.
Okay. The Indiana Pacers and the Miami Heat. The TJ Warren and Jimmy Butler drama continues.
Yes. This is of course the first thing you think of when you look at this series, and that should be fun to watch. I mean,
to note, Indiana does not have Domantas Sabonis.
that I was going to get to. They're probably not going to have him the whole series, which is a factor in my decision because, this whole week I was thinking about this matchup and I was kind of on the fence because these are two teams that are pretty similar. They're almost evenly matched. I mean, they're also both well coached because Nate McMillan, Eric Spoelstra, I mean, the job those two guys have done with their respective teams, unbelievable. But, you look at the Pacers, they got a lot of star power. Brogdon, Oladipo, Warren, Turner, but they don't have Sabonis, which that could be an issue. With the Heat, Jimmy Butler, big addition, young guys shooting, scoring. This is going to be a deep series. It's going to go 6 games. I like the Heat. I like the Heat coming out of this because, TJ Warren, as good as he's played in the bubble, which has been amazing, Jimmy Butler is going to give him fits. Jimmy Butler is one of the best defensive players in the league, and he's going to get in TJ's.
You let him only score 12 points.
Well, yeah. I mean, Jimmy's going to be giving him problems the entire series. TJ's going to have to work for his points, which means other guys will have to step up. I also just love the versatility of the Heat with Adebayo, and they got Iguodala, Crowder, and Butler who can all defend. You couple that with the young guys. I liked that team a lot, so I think they beat them in 6.
It's funny. Josiah and I actually so far in terms of games had the exact same prediction. We'll see what we got for the next one, but I got Heat in 6 as well. I think Butler over Warren. I will be interested to see how much TJ Warren can take his momentum from the weird end bubble regular season games to the bubble playoffs. We'll see if he continues on his tear or if it gets slowed down by Jimmy Butler enough for him to kind of be more like pre-bubble TJ. But yeah, no, I got Heat in 6 as well.
I also have the Heat. So I think that Sabonis not being there is really hurtful. I think that's the key. I think that gives it to the Heat. And the Heat have so much shooting. Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson. God, shooting. And they're going to do a real I think that it just comes to show you Alex Spoelstra was not just a LeBron and Dwayne Wade coach. He is actually a good coach. And he deserves props for this team. And I think that
What?
Brian,
I think that they'll do really well. Sorry, I'm having mic issues. My dog chewed up the cable and it kind of it's coming in and out.
Yeah. Okay. My dog ate my homework. Yeah. Man, that is.
It actually happened.
all right, Robert, what do you think?
I'm gonna agree with you guys. But you know what I could actually think of is that it's gonna be a 5-game series. 4-1.
Wow, really?
Miami's really good, and we're not giving them. Well, we are giving them a lot of credit. Their defense above their offense is everything, and their defense is amazing. Everybody on that team can defend. Really. I mean, if you have a weakness, it's Tyler Hero, and he's not even that bad. That's the thing. And also Duncan Robinson, man, Jesus, that guy touches the ball. You know that's gonna be a make. That guy's not gonna miss. If he misses one, I'll be surprised.
If he's open.
No, he doesn't need it. He can shot.
He doesn't need him, man. That guy. And and you know, like his length as well. His defense is not bad either. I mean, this is just having a really good coach and really good defensive players as well. You can create a lot of mismatches.
Yeah. You said that you guys haven't given you guys have given the Heat respect. I don't know because
No. I retracted myself. There.
I think they'll win in 5. I haven't given the Heat respect at all. I agree.
Yeah. They can do it in 6 because maybe one of these games Oladipo just goes off and we see the old Oladipo. But yeah.
I hope. I mean, yeah, it's a bonus.
And you know what? It'd be better if it's a 6-game series because I'll enjoy it more. But I just feel like it's a 5-game series.
Yeah, okay, I get that. I mean, that's a bonus thing.
I'll give it a chance.
Timer.
Oh, wait. No, let me finish my thought. So I was going to say, just a bonus thing. If Sabonis was playing, they could have won. I would have picked them. But because he's not there.
I would have put it in a 7-game series and actually put the Heat to still win, but in 7 games.
I would say the Pacers would beat him with Sabonis. But
I would say in 5. So I got 5. You got what do you have, Josiah?
6. I didn't finish my thought though. Can I at least finish my thought?
Fine, finish your thought.
I'm almost done. Okay, because as good as TJ Warren has been, Sabonis is the heart and soul of that team. He's the anchor. He was their all-star, their best player. So like, not only does it hurt him offensively, but defensively, like that's big. So that's the deciding factor. That's just what it is. So, but yeah, I have 6 games. And Robert had 5.
Robert had 5. Seth, you have?
I had 6.
Oh, and Robert had 6. So I'm the only one with 5. All right, next series, Robert.
Series. Let's go with the Raptors and the Nets.
Oh, come on. Look, I'll start the timer, but this is not going to be that fast. The Raptors are going to win. Yeah, the Raptors are going to win. The only thing I want to see if Jamal Crawford hits the court at some point for the Nets. That's all I want to know.
He hasn't played at all yet?
No. Well, he did. He played for like a few minutes, but got hurt. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what his status is. But
so, I mean, I have no real interest in the Nets this year. Next year I do, but not this year. Next year I have a lot of interest in the Nets.
Next year they'll probably be in the top 5 for winning the championship.
Like next year, I'd probably put money on them if I wanted to, maybe, because their betting odds would be great.
Honestly, I don't understand firing Kenny Atkinson because they're going to be good next year.
Yeah, but what about Jacque Vaughn? I mean, he's done a really good job with them. So, I mean, small sample size.
Yeah,
5
not Kenny Atkinson though.
But dude, 5 wins with nobody in the bubble. That's an accomplishment. I didn't think they win a game, and they won 5 games. They almost knocked the Blazers out of the playoffs. Brian, you were almost wrong. You were almost wrong about that too. You got it. Come on, Jacque Vaughn is a good. But wait, Brian, did you have anything else you're gonna say? Because I was gonna get into my. Okay, so yeah, well, obviously the Raptors are gonna win this. It's pretty much like the Bucks Magic series, but I actually think that the Nets have a better chance of winning a game than the Magic do against the Bucks because the Nets compete. They actually they're well coached, so they compete. But the Raptors, I mean, they're far more talented. Their defense is unbelievable. Their length, their depth, everything. I mean, they're going to be way too much. The Nets, I don't think will win a game. I think it'll be a full sweep. But I think the Nets could have a few games where they're really competing and make it interesting. And I wouldn't be surprised if they win one game. But I think if I had to say, the Raptors will sweep them. And Siakam, Lowry, Van, that whole team, they're too good. But I got to give credit to Jacque Vaughn with the Brooklyn Nets because, come on, 5 games with that team and they won. That you got to give him credit for that. And to me, if I'm the Brooklyn Nets, I'm actually thinking about maybe. I'm not saying they should, but maybe think about trying to keep Jacque Vaughn around for next year because come on.
You've seen him for 5 games.
What's that?
You've seen him for the bubble only, and you already wanting this guy to be the coach.
It's 8 games actually. There are 8 games in the bubble.
8 games with his coach.
They played 2 games before that, before the hiatus. Remember? So I know it's a small sample size, but I mean, look at that team. Look at who they got out on the court right now with all those guys out. I'm not saying that he should absolutely get the job next year, but he did a good job with nobody. And next year they're going to get everybody back. They're going to be really scary next year. I wouldn't hate the idea for the Brooklyn Nets to keep him around, in my opinion.
I think that the coach next year should be just chosen by Durant and by Kyrie. Like you're gonna understand, Jack Vaughn's gonna come in and he's not even gonna have coach Kyrie.
Yeah, but who is going to coach Kyrie? Now that's
Oh,
that
God.
could be fun.
Oh, God. Oh, poor coach.
Yeah. Really.
Yeah, really.
Those two big personalities, controversial, polarizing guys,
Oh, my God. The media, like Twitter's going to be crazy next year with these guys. All the comments, media, all the conspiracy, all the conspiracies, all the
Hold on.
the egos with these two players.
Hold on, Robert. Are you not impressed by the 5 wins? Are you not at all impressed about that? Come on. 5 wins with that team. How could you not be impressed by that? I did when I heard that Dinwiddie, Irving, all those guys would be out, I thought they wouldn't win a game. They went 5-3, a winning record.
Oh, by the way, they have Dinwiddie. Yikes.
Come on.
They're going to be hard. They're going to be hard.
You gotta give them credit.
If Kyrie
Have to. If they would have beaten the Blazers,
Credit.
you probably wouldn't be hating like this right now. This conversation could be different. So I'm saying, so no, it's not impressive to you.
It's impressive to me. I don't know about
Robert. You're just a hater. What it is, you're just a hater. You think it's impressive? Come on.
I think it is impressive. I just think that I like Jack Vaughn. I liked watching him when he was a player. So he was a smart guard. So I'm sure that he's going to be a hell of a coach. But I don't know. That team is up in the air. I can't. It can be anybody who could be the head coach next year. That's the whole main thing. I could even see Ty Lue being the coach next year just because he has a name and Cade. It's possible.
Oh man, I feel like one time with Kyrie's enough. Like if you're Kyrie's coach, you really like, hey, I want seconds on that one. Whew, I don't know about that.
Ty Lue coaches, they're going to be fighting for a playoff spot. Come on, man. We should stop mentioning his name. He's not a good coach. I don't want to hear it.
David Black. Hire David Black.
Oh God, come on.
Hey, he's the only coach to win a championship in Cleveland.
LeBron won that championship. Tyronn Lue did not win that. LeBron won that championship. I'm not giving Ty Lue that much credit for it. Sorry.
Hey.
And then you know what? Draymond suspension or won that championship.
It's certainly. Thank you.
Draymond suspension, and it's not just Draymond suspension and Bogut's injury won that championship or lost that championship.
But Cleveland the year before if it was for injuries. So
let's not get into a conversation about
Jack Vaughn went to Kansas, so
yeah. Anyways, go next. Let's
my pick of this series. I don't think Seth talked about this.
I take it back. He went to KU. Okay, Brooklyn, get rid of him. I'm sorry. I take it back now.
I got Raptors in 5. So I got the Nets. They because they've been impressive enough in the bubble. I got them pulling a game out.
Okay, I respect that. I respect it. Brian doesn't, but I do. I do, Seth.
Raptors in 4.
But Magic are going to win a game against the Bucks?
Yeah,
come on.
Yeah, the Magic are going to win a game with the Bucks, and the Raptors are going to sweep. I'm sorry. That's what's going to happen.
The Magic, their fans are going to be pioneros and all that. They're going to have Puerto Rican music during the game.
All right. Yeah, Robert, I didn't like that at all.
You don't like that comment?
No, it's weird.
Robert, you got to stop with that, man.
You're bombing. You go to Magic games, in the street after the Magic game ends, you got all this Puerto Rican music there.
Yeah.
All right.
What's the next matchup?
Okay, I'm going to see my pick. So 5 games. Let's move on.
Cool.
I give the Nets a game.
Good. Nice.
Go team.
The 76ers and the Boston Celtics. I'm so sorry that your trashless organizations don't compare to the greatness of my organization.
Who won the championship more recently?
Oh,
Who's won 18 to show for? 17.
One.
I mean,
Hey,
but
who
more
18 is going to be this year.
All right,
had
you
the
know what?
greatest player of all time? The Bulls. So who won the 90s? We did. Okay, next where we talk
They don't have
Celtics.
Ben
Celtics.
Simmons. Sixers
We're
don't
even
have Ben
born for that
Simmons.
championship.
That's all I have to say. Sixers don't have Ben Simmons. Celtics are pretty good. They were playing pretty well towards the end of like those bubble games. So yeah, they'll win in 5.
Okay.
What do
I
you
guess
say?
I'll
I'm
go-
saying everything in 5. I'm gonna say everything in 5. I think maybe except for that last sweep.
You're boring. You're boring, Brian. All right. Okay. I'll say this. Obviously we know. I think the Celtics are going to win the series. I mean, they're the better team, and the Sixers without Ben Simmons, yeah, they can't beat the Celtics. If they had Ben Simmons, oh yeah, they would have a shot to win this series, but they don't. But I won't say that. I think it's going to go a little longer than people will say it will. That you guys might think. I think it'll go 6 games. The reason why I say that is because Joel Embiid, of course, he's going to have to play well in every game for the Sixers to even have a chance in this series. And I think he will. I think he'll have a really good series because, you look at the Celtics. They don't have a lot of size. They don't have a lot of length. And I think Embiid's going to give him a problem on the glass. Daniel Tice is a great defender. I like him a lot, but he's going to have his hands full with Joel Embiid. So that's going to be a factor. I think Embiid's going to make this kind of tough. He's definitely going to own the boards. Him and Al Horford together are going to kill them on the boards. And it's going to be cool seeing Al Horford playing against the Celtics. But at the end of the day, the Celtics are the better team. They have more star power. They're more explosive. They got a lot of scores. I mean, Hayward, Brown, Tatum. Now, I will say this. I need more from Kemba Walker. If this Celtics team wants to win and go to the finals, like get over the hump, Kemba has got to be better. He's got to start playing with the Kemba of the Charlotte Hornets. He's been decent this year, but he's been too inconsistent. And I know they were trying to rest him in the bubble, and I get that. But I need more out of Kemba Walker. If he can start playing
Jaylen Brown should have been an all-star over Kemba Walker.
What's that?
This is why I say Jaylen Brown should have been an all-star over Kemba Walker.
Yeah, I agree. I thought Jaylen Brown should have made the All-Star team, but Kemba still's had a good year. But yeah, he needs to be better. He needs to be better for the Celtics. So it won't affect him in this series. They'll beat the Sixers regardless, but I'm watching for him the rest of the playoffs.
Seth.
I think without Ben Simmons, the Sixers is kind of like, not only are they done, but they kind of know that they're done. So I say, after trashing the Celtics as a franchise, I'm going to make Robert happy. I say that the Sixers will play the Celtics close in a couple games, but not win a single one. I got the Celtics sweeping.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Hey, that's
I don't think it's horrible though. I find it kind of weird that you would think
it's
that
possible because I'm saying whoa, I set out of it, but like I think it's possible.
I think it's possible too. I think that it's kind of I think that Joel Embiid's a player that would need the crowd and would need the home field advantage to take those 2 games that you want him to take. Josiah.
field advantage is court, by the way.
Fuck, home court advantage, whatever.
No, come on, sweep. That's too far. And Seth,
No.
you really think the Sixers know they're not going to win? What team goes in?
Yeah,
saying,
I do.
No.
I do. And I mean,
Are you
thing is,
kidding me?
how many series do we have in the NBA where you come in thinking, okay, well, this team will at least like steal a game, and then they don't? I'm saying that this is the time that's going to happen.
I completely disagree with the fact that they know they're going to go out there and they're going to play their hearts out. I think they're going to compete. They're still a talented team. Just because they don't have Ben Simmons doesn't mean they're terrible. They got Josh Richardson, Tobias Harris, Al Horford, Shake Milton. They still got decent.
Agree,
but a sweep just seems way too far for me. I think they're going to win the game. They'll make it interesting at the very least. They're going to make it interesting. I completely disagree with you.
I say a couple games they make it interesting, but they're not going to win one. I think this is a team that kind of has fallen in the playoffs before. Last year they were really close to if Kawhi hadn't made that shot, and now I think they kind of realize that this whole thing isn't going to happen for them, and I say they fall apart in the playoffs.
I just think that Jimmy Butler trade hurt them.
Well, yeah, obviously it did. I mean, they haven't done as well without him. It's very obvious. But
it's not that. I think the trade really hurt them. Like they shouldn't have made the trade.
I understood it though because Jimmy was going somewhere else anyway. I think the situation made sense. But
Exactly, because I feel like the Sixers gave up too much.
what did they give up? I don't even remember what the move.
They didn't. It was a free agent signing. They had to give up Tobias Harris.
Oh yeah. No. No. They still have Tobias. Harris. What do you mean?
Exactly. They had to pick. They picked one of the two because they couldn't sign both.
Yeah, there was no way they were going to get both of them. And I Tobias Harris is a good player, but yeah, I would have kept Jimmy Butler personally.
Like, no. I didn't think Jimmy didn't want to be in Philly.
But that's what I'm saying. I don't think he would have wanted to be there either. So it's like I get it, but it's like I wouldn't go as far to say that
he doesn't feel like a Philly player.
I just think the size advantage and the rebounding will make this somewhat of a series. Like if the Celtics were a bigger team, if this wasn't like a mismatch down low, okay, I would get. The Sixers have size, so that's why I think it'll go a little bit longer. I think you guys are a little bit underestimating the Sixers. I just, in my opinion.
I think you're overestimating the Sixers, but it's okay.
I'm not overestimating them. I know. I look at that team. That team still looks pretty good. Still got a pretty decent starting lineup. So I think they'll still make it a series.
All right, we'll see. Robert.
Hi, John. So give me the next 3 minutes.
Robert, get the pick.
What you want my pick?
You don't need it.
I don't need Robert's pick. We know his answer.
But I want to know the number of games.
5 games.
Okay.
I see possibility for 4, but I'm gonna get 5 games. So here's my thought process. Joel Embiid is gonna have one really good game where he's just like, the Sixers gonna win. No, he's gonna have all the games are gonna be good for him. Well, yeah. Well, the last game they played against the Celtics, he went 1 for 11 though.
Okay, it's regular season.
It doesn't matter because Dive adjusted.
It doesn't matter.
That game means nothing. So,
and here's the thing. Where are they playing the games? Orlando, right?
Yeah.
Sixers suck away from home. They literally suck. Their record was 12-26 on road games.
That's why I said earlier.
That's a viable.
They need home court.
It's a very valuable point
Court
because they really suck at home. That's like a 320 percentage. Am I math correct? Here's the other thing. They have one good shooter. Freaking Korkmaz. You really believe in freaking Korkmaz? Don't tell me Alec Burks and Josh Richardson. Those are scoring. They need the ball to score. Those are not shooters.
Shake Milton?
Shake Milton's a scorer. He's not a shooter.
Shoot the ball though. He's not. You don't have to be just a shooter.
He's a scorer.
But
here's the other thing. Shake Milton's probably gonna be the starter. Who's the backup? Raul Neto?
Yeah, I don't think he's that bad of a backup point. I think he's pretty solid.
Come on. Pack your bags. Go back to Brazil.
Whoa. Okay.
Wow, Robert.
Bring back Marcelino Huertas. He was more valuable to the Lakers than Raul Neto was to the Sixers.
Let's get rid of xenophobia for a moment.
I get that you hate this. Okay, but you don't need to attack their players, man. That's unnecessary. Okay, that was a good.
What? I like Brazil. Leandro Barbosa. Oh my God.
Go back to Brazil.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
You like Brazil. That's good.
Robert.
Bring Marcelino Huertas instead of.
You got to stop talking about that because you're walking a thin line, buddy. You got to be careful.
You got to think he's a Celtics fan. So let's.
In reality, Raul Neto sucks. I've seen him play in person in competitions over here. He literally sucks for that national team.
Over here, you're in Missouri, brother.
Literally.
I even forget that I'm in Missouri.
All right, next matchup.
Here's the other thing. The Celtics had too many scorers to go at you, and here's the only, I feel like the other advantage the Sixers have is just that Ben Simmons not playing will allow Al Horford move over to the 3-point line more because they were used to having them both as centers and power forwards, and Al didn't move as much over to the 3-point line. Now he can do that because they need shooters. They need shooters, and Al's probably the second best shooter on that team from long range.
Okay, careful. But yeah, you do bring up valid points. Their shooting's not great, but the Celtics don't really have a spot up shooter either. So it's
They
like
don't need it because they have so many good scorers. And what? Jason Tatum's a good shooter. Kemba's a good shooter.
Is this
Huh,
the
but
last
you
one in the
just said
East?
score. Wait a sec. I was saying the same thing about the Sixers, and you were like, well, they're scorers, so they don't. But you just said the same thing about what? Come on, dude. You're contradicting yourself.
Because they're scorers, yes, but they're also shooters. These other people for the Sixers are just scorers.
But Tobias can shoot. The same thing can be said for Tobias, Richardson, Milton.
Tobias needs the ball. Tobias needs the ball to score. He's not a good spot-up shooter.
Yeah, he is. I don't know what you're talking about, dude.
Oh, he's not.
I think it's you being very biased towards your own team.
By the way, I'm just gonna mention it, and it's gonna be topic for like when the first round ends. Whoever wins the series between the Raptors and the Celtics is gonna go to the finals.
Oh no.
Oh wow.
Boy. Oh,
we just complimented the Heat a lot, and all of a sudden you're just all right. Go on. Next one. I mean, I think we're done with the East, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, we are.
Come on, let's move on to the conference.
Best young man.
The Western Conference. Some say the better conference. Some, not all.
Okay. First matchup: the Portland Trailblazers against the Los Angeles Lakers.
So, well, that's going to be very interesting. I'm really
very interesting.
Really excited to see that. Now, there are a few people out there, like a Charles Barkley, who thinks that the Blazers are going to beat the Lakers. That's not happening. Lakers are going to beat them. It's going to be a long series, though. It's going to be a long series. I think it'll go 6 games. Blazers, they're really good offensively. They were looking great in the bubble. Dame's been unconscious. And then you got CJ McCollum, Melo hitting big shots, and that front court, Whiteside, Nurkic, Collins, that's going to be an issue for the Lakers. Now, the Lakers, it's LeBron and AD. That's all I got to say about that. That is going to be that's going to be what the difference in the series, but also rebounding. You know, I think you look at both of these teams, they both got great front courts as far as depth. The Lakers got Davis, they got JaVale McGee, they got Dwight Howard. Rebound's going to be a problem for the Blazers because while Whiteside and Nurkic have done a good job individually rebounding the ball, they've been getting out-rebounded in quite a few of their games. Brooklyn Nets game in the fourth quarter, Jared Allen killed them on the offensive glass. If it wasn't for Jared Allen, you know, Portland could have won that game much easier, but that was a factor in that game. So that's going to be an issue. I think that will be their downfalls. Their paint is going to be an issue for the Blazers. The Lakers will dominate them there. I will say this, though. It's going to be a concern for the rest of the playoffs for the Lakers, I think. Their offense, when LeBron and AD come out of the game, they don't score very well. Now, Kyle Kuzma has been good, and he's got to continue to be that. But even then, they need a little bit more out of their bench area because their scoring goes way down when LeBron and AD are out of the game. And that might not cost them this Blazers series, but down the line, if they face the Clippers, that could be a huge issue. So, but Lakers, to me, are going to win in 6. But it's going to be fun. It's going to be real fun.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna say Lakers in 6 also, but this is an interesting series. There are the exact reasons Josiah said. Dame and Blazers were playing really well the last couple games in this bubble, and just to get in, and even the play-in game was a good game. So they're hot. They're in good rhythm. Melo in great rhythm. Love the dagger in that play-in game from Melo. It just made it. I hope that everyone who didn't sign him just felt it a little bit deeper. Just cut right there. But yeah, man. Yeah, but it's hard for me to like even root against Dame. Like it's hard for me to pick 6 games here because it's hard for me to choose against Dame. Dame is like unconscious right now in terms of the confidence, in terms of everything, his swagger, everything right now, man. He should just go and record an album in the bubble. I'll bet he'll record hits.
Actually, he did come out with a few songs the past day. I haven't listened to him yet, but he did. Fun fact.
All right, Seth.
See, I can see this series going a number of ways. I personally I say that Dame steals a game, but the Lakers are able to overpower the Blazers enough to win it in 5. But I could easily see this going 7. I'm just saying, no, it's what I picked. It's what I picked. But I can see it going another way. I think I think him and McCollum will have them in the games. I don't see a single game being a blowout, but in the end, the Lakers have too much, and in the end, they have LeBron James, and I'd take him over Damian Lillard. So I got them. I got
Just
got
say it.
LeBron.
Take it over Michael Jordan.
Yeah, him too. Well, of course. I mean, everybody knows that.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, LeBron James is LeBron James still. Even in the bubble, even though the Lakers have struggled, even though he hasn't been the best in the bubble, he's still LeBron James. And in this series, in the fourth quarter at least, he might not be LeBron James quarters 1 through 3, but this series in the fourth quarter, he'll be LeBron James.
Yeah, he won't be like 2011 NBA Finals LeBron. That's for sure.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a crowd,
no
so I don't know
difference,
how
yeah.
LeBron's gonna be.
me.
Robert, what do you say?
Games, possibility of 7 games. But I do not agree with Seth about there's not going to be games with blowouts. Man, if the Lakers start scoring a lot, I'm really worried about, like, if they get hot. I really worry about the Trailblazers, because the Trailblazers are probably the worst out of all the playoff teams in defense. They freaking suck at defensively. Like, Dame's a liability on defense. CA is also CA is better, but like
Lillard's played pretty well.
But the truth is, like, here's the thing, though. I'm
the
surprised
liability
that
that team shows, man. And Melo defensively, no. I mean,
Well, yeah, they can't stop anything. So yeah, actually, that's a good point. That's going to be a real problem for them. I think that's
the
part of the
only
reason
the
why-
only team worse in this playoffs defensively is the Magic.
Mavs are pretty bad defensively too.
yeah, the Mavs have been really horrible.
But
But I'm surprised that none of you guys have mentioned Anthony Davis at all, because
Wait,
I think that
whoa! I did.
I mean,
What are you talking about?
Why do you want me to mention? Of course, you know Anthony Davis is going to be a beast.
but
There's
it's
nobody-
not that he's going to be a beast.
There's nobody on those teams that are going to like stop him.
I just mentioned that he and the front court of the Lakers are going to be a problem for the Blazers. I did mention them.
Okay, thank you, Josiah. Thank you
This
for
is
reminding
like-
me. It's just that
It's like vice versa. The backcourt of the Lakers is going to be really good, and the front court of the Blazers is going to be really good.
Yeah, I mean, and it's what's crazy is, like, if the Blazers would have been healthy this year, they could have been a top 4 team maybe. I mean, it's that could have happened. So this is not your typical 1-8 matchup. You know,
do they
this is
re-sign Melo? You
definitely-
think?
What's that?
Do you think they re-sign
I-
Melo?
I hope they do.
I don't know. They should, but I don't know what Melo wants. What does he want? I don't know.
I think Melo just wants peace and just playing time. He doesn't
wants
want.
money. He's always wanted.
He doesn't want to keep switching teams and his career being a threat every single time he doesn't like.
I
find
don't know.
a home. Doesn't find a home.
I don't know. Maybe I think he wants a 3-year deal. I think he might want a 3-year deal.
I mean, they can get in that, but they're not going to give him like what 50 million. He's probably going to get like a 20 million deal. 20, yeah.
But Dame and CJ could be asking for contracts too. So it's like, I don't know. He's gonna want money.
They already have one contract.
What's that?
They already have one contract.
Well, obviously, but they could ask for more money, like a supermax deal. Like we like, you don't know. Based off of what Dame has been doing lately, come on, the guy. You might be asking for money. You never know.
Yeah,
You never know what-
Dame's also worth super money, but Dame needs a response from that organization to see whether he doesn't go anywhere else. Because Dame is like, he could go anywhere he wants. Like, you really have to focus more on
He
Dame.
already has a supermax.
Oh, he does.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, I think we're done with this matchup, even though it's might be the most exciting in the Western Conference.
I disagree. I think the next one we talk about could be, if that's what I think it is.
Oh,
The
well,
next one is the Houston Rockets and the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Chris Paul's
Houston-
revenge.
Houston, we have a problem. We didn't.
I like to call it the Chris Paul revenge.
Houston, we didn't talk about this on the beginning, but Russell Westbrook out for tomorrow's game, at least for now, out for tomorrow's first. So, start.
Okay, so yeah, this is the series I think will be the best out of any of them. I think will be the most entertaining because you got Chris Paul, Russell Westbrook, were traded for each other, now playing against their former teams, and Harden playing against the Thunder. It's going to be the best series, in my opinion, of the whole bubble. I think it's going to go 7 games, and it's going to be back and forth the whole time. Now, who I think will win in 7? I got the Thunder winning in 7. Now, look at the Houston Rockets and their micro mini ball, whatever you want to call it. You know, it's had some success in the regular season. But my thing is, can they do that and beat a team 4 times with that lineup? I say no. I don't think they can do it, especially when they're facing the Thunder with Steven Adams. I think Steven Adams will dominate this whole series. I would not be surprised if he's putting up crazy numbers the whole series, because this looks like Steven Adams must be licking his chops, because there's nobody on that team on the Rockets that can defend him. So that's one factor. Another one, something that I'm sure I've mentioned a few times on this podcast, you know, with the Houston Rockets, why I haven't trusted them. You know, I like what they did in the bubble. I did like what they did. My issue is just like, they got guys on that team who I don't think can lead a team to a title. With James Harden, Russell Westbrook, who both have had playoff woes in the past. Now, James Harden's been better as of late. But I'm not sure. With Russell Westbrook's even more the case. You know, with Russell Westbrook, he is an unbelievable player, and he was great in the regular season. It's just what seems to happen a lot is in the playoffs, he starts to try to become more aggressive and try to play a hero ball, and then he doesn't defer to his teammates, and he takes too many shots, and he shoots him out the game. This is something that he has to fix. If he doesn't fix this issue that he has right now, I don't trust this Rockets team even coming out of the first round. Now, if he can do this, they can go far. But I just don't know with Russell Westbrook, because I don't trust him or Harden leading that team in the playoffs. And one more thing. With the Thunder, that lineup of Chris Paul, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Dennis Schroeder, Danilo Gallinari, Steven Adams, that lineup, they're going to use that a lot in this series, and that's going to be a huge problem for the Rockets. That lineup can score in bunches. That's going to be scary. I also want to point out one more thing. Darius Bazley, he has played extremely well for the Thunder these past several games. He put up 20 in 3 games or whatever. He's going to get minutes in the playoffs. I'm happy for the kid. He could be really good.
Honestly,
but yeah,
I think this guy has potential to be a star.
No, I think he does too. I think when he came in the league, he was raw, but he's starting to figure things out already. I like him. I like the
top prospect coming into the draft, and he
Yeah.
didn't even go to college. He decided to work as an internship in Under Armour.
Yeah, and the guy's looking pretty good right now. So yeah, but I like the Thunder. So what do you guys think?
So hard to me. Go, Seth. You go.
I was gonna say, I think I got Houston winning this one, but some of the points that Josiah made kind of almost started to persuade me there, just because I see what he's saying. It's not really for me. It's not really about the Thunder as much as it's about the Rockets. Number one, like Robert mentioned, we don't know if Westbrook's playing even in game 1, or we don't know when he's going to play again. But also, like Josiah mentioned, he has been someone who's kind of, you want a player who's aggressive and you want a player who has that will to win. But when that will to win kind of overrides sometimes logic in terms of taking shots that don't need to be taken, that's when it becomes a problem. I think he's been smarter this year, and I think he'll end up being smarter in the playoffs, especially with Harden around him. But at the same time, like Josiah said, do you trust Harden in the playoffs too? I don't know about that. I don't see them going far, but I have them winning this series in 7.
It's so hard because it's like my heart wants to say, Chris Paul, take it over and just beat the Rockets for trading you and like not trusting you. And also because he had such a great season with the Thunder. I have the Rockets in 7. I can't bet against Harden. I can't bet against Harden. Like, this has nothing to do with Westbrook. This has nothing to do with small ball. This has nothing to do with anything like that. I can't bet against James Harden, especially against the Thunder, especially in that series. I can't do it. He impresses me every time. He is the best scorer in the game, and I think he will win this series in 7 games.
Just him, not the Rockets.
Just him. Yeah, just him, not the Rockets.
Okay.
Robert.
7 games, Houston, as well.
Okay.
But here's my thing. If the Thunder win the first 2 games, I have Thunder's winning this series. I don't think there's a way the Rockets come back and win this series. The Rockets are losing a lot in the paint, especially. Like Westbrook scores almost 18 points per game in the paint. Like he's the best scorer in the paint, and they're losing a lot of points. And they're gonna be shooting the ball from three because that's what they do when Westbrook doesn't have the ball. I mean, he plays as a center for them as well because of the way he scores in the paint. And now they have nobody right there to actually challenge Steven Adams.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I was saying.
But if Westbrook come back in game 2 and maybe the Rockets win tomorrow, and great for them. But it all matters. We have to see what happens with Westbrook. Is my point. Harden might be the guy, but he needs his psychic right there.
I think Russell needs to, if he comes back, needs to defer to Harden. That's what it is. If he can defer to Harden, okay, this team can definitely win this series. It's just
this is going to be I believe this is going to be a different Russell Westbrook in the playoffs because, dude, you can trust Harden more than you can trust Paul George.
I don't know. Paul George has been in the conference finals a few times.
Paul George, the last 2 years in the playoffs, the Rockets lost not because of Russell Westbrook, because of him. First of all, he sucked 2 years ago in that last series. You see the numbers, and you can't tell me wrong. And then last year, the injury, and he tried to play through it, and he sucked. And that's why everybody's shitting on Russell Westbrook when you should shit on Paul George. He's shooting all those shots. He's missing. And you want to blame it on Russell Westbrook for taking all those other shots? Come on.
They deserve both of the blame for that. Both of them do.
But he doesn't get it. Paul George doesn't get it. They blame it on Westbrook because you know what? It's easier to hate on Westbrook than it is to hate any other player.
You might be right, but you can't just dismiss Russell Westbrook. I mean, Westbrook has something to do with that too.
Harden's a way better player than Paul George is. And he's a way better scorer.
Who is?
Harden.
Then Paul. Well, yeah, he's the best scorer in the game, obviously. But Paul George has been to conference final.
I can trust Harden more than I trust Paul George.
A younger Paul George. I disagree. A younger Paul George led the Pacers to the finals or conference finals 2 straight years. Almost beat the Heat the first year. So I disagree.
He's supporting cast though.
But he was the leader of that team.
And he led that. And tell me, what other competition above those two did they have?
What two were you talking about?
Like the Heat and the Pacers. What other teams could challenge them those years?
Yeah, but I get that. But it's like he still got them.
There wasn't any other.
Paul George is. I trust Paul George more than I trust James Harden, in my opinion, and that's why like the Clippers are a really good team. But it's like my thing with the Rockets, not just that the small ball, but it's their system. I don't like their system. I just don't. It's like 3-point shooting. Everybody takes a shot, and it's just like. You in the NBA, you live or die by the three. The only team that lived by the three and did well was the Warriors. Nobody else can replicate that. I just don't. Unless you have 3 superstars on one team that can all shoot the ball, I don't. The Rockets are trying to replicate that, and they never have, and they never will. It's just I don't like their system, and I don't think it will beat anyone in the playoffs. That's the other thing. So
I honestly feel they can be the team that beat the Bucks 2 weeks ago in the playoffs, and if that's the team they're going to show. Then they have a really good chance of going late in the postseason.
Regular season doesn't matter. I'm sorry. I'm not even reading into that game. That was a great.
I am reading to that game because they're playing against those teams. They have winning records against good teams like those.
Yeah, regular season's great, but playoffs are a different animal. That's it. That's what it is. Playoffs are far different. And I get it. No fans. It's going to be different. It's probably going to, but it's like we will notice the difference in the playoffs. And they have to beat a team in 4 games. They have to win 4 games with that team. I don't think they can.
7. I think we all said 7 games. That's what's interesting. So at least we all agree that this series will be an interesting one and a very tough one for both teams. What's the next one?
The Nuggets and the Jazz. And before we start, Mike Conley's not playing tomorrow. Ed Davis isn't playing. Who's for the Nuggets? Who's not playing?
Gary Harris, Will Barton.
Will Barton are not playing.
So, yeah, I got Nuggets in 6.
Oh, by the way, the Jazz don't have Bojan Bogdanovic.
Well, yeah, we knew that already. But the Nuggets to me, they're the more talented team. They're deeper. I don't even think that they don't even need Gary Harris or Will Barton to beat the Jazz. I think because Michael Porter is playing extremely well. Jamal Murray is back. Jokic has been killing it. I like the depth that Jeremy Grant's been amazing for the Nuggets lately. So that team right there is dangerous.
Great for like the last 5 years.
Well, yeah, but this year he's been, I think, as good as any other year. I mean, I love what he's been doing with the Nuggets. So now we look at the Jazz. I mean, they have been up and down the bubble, and it's clear because Bojan Bogdanovic was their second best scorer, and you're seeing that without him, their offense is not as easy as it once was. And now they're going to have they're not going to have Mike Conley for at least game 1 because he's attending his son's birth, and that is big too because he was playing really well in the bubble. He was starting to turn things around, starting to play more like the Mike Conley of old. And now they won't have him for at least game 1. So that's another factor. Now, I think it'll go 6 games because I think Conley will be back eventually. And Mitchell and Gobert will help them win a few games. But the Nuggets, their length, here's one thing. 3 things I love out of team: athleticism, length, and size. Like those 3 things, versatility too. Those things, if the team has that, I really like that out of a team. The Nuggets have that, and that's why I think not only they win the series, they have a legitimate shot to make a run because they got a lot of good talent. They got a lot of talent. So I got Nuggets in 6.
I got Nuggets in 6 as well. I said a couple of weeks ago that the Nuggets were the team that I was like most intrigued by in the league right now, and I mean part of it's my Mizzou homer. But I want to see how Michael Porter Jr. plays in the playoffs. We saw him in the bubble games, in the regular season bubble games, and we saw him play well.
And the game he was bad was the Jazz game, by the way.
Yeah, well, there's that. But we saw also too that the Nuggets kind of took the foot off the accelerator at the end of the season. Didn't even really try in the fourth quarter to put lineups out there that could win them those games. But I want to see whether he can come together with the rest of the team to have a squad that can legitimately compete for the Western Conference. I mean, they have the talent to, and that's why I said the idea of a Lakers, Rockets, Nuggets, Clippers Final Four in the West was really intriguing to me. And I got the Nuggets in 6, and I hope they make it because if they do, I think we're gonna have a couple of really good semifinals.
I hate agreeing with you guys. Nuggets in 6. I mean, the Jazz are good enough to steal 2 games. I agree that like not having Conley like hurts them. Like it really hurts them, especially because he's also that veteran presence that they have that's kind of stables them. But yeah, I like the Denver Nuggets are just so talented, but they're also a young team, so I could also see them losing 2 games easily. So yeah, it makes total sense to say the Nuggets in 6. And I'm sorry about the Jazz, really, but you can't. It's not their year, and we'll see what happens with Donovan Mitchell. Like that to me is a little bit more interesting in terms of the story with them. See what happens between him and Gobert, and see if that can be fixed. And let's see what happens. But yeah, Nuggets in 6. Robert, what do you say?
Nuggets in 6. I mean, honestly, if they had Barton and Gary Harris, I would call this a sweep.
Sweep.
A sweep. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. But
I think if they win the series and those guys are healthy, they can give whoever they face a really good series. They might take them to 7 games. But I mean, yeah, I feel like Gobert is going to be tested with Jokic because I feel like Jokic is probably a top 3 center in the league, obviously. And I really like that matchup a lot. I don't know what we'll get from Michael Porter Jr. Again, like I said, the playoffs are a different animal. And I don't know if he's going to live up to those expectations of being that guy. Maybe he'll score 15 games. I'll give him scoring 15 points a game. but I don't think
That's
he's going to score like
right.
30 points a game. Just something like that.
Wait, that's not living up to anything. 15 points a game is pretty good.
Well, not living up to like the third he was scoring in the bubble.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay, it's fair.
Yeah.
Not living up to like unicorn status.
Yeah. Also, Jamal Murray coming up back from injury. He just got to take the next step now. He played well that last game when they played the Jazz. That fourth quarter he was really good. Yeah, I really like that team going forward. So
Yeah, I totally agree.
I think we're all in agreement in terms of that series. So what's the last series?
I didn't finish my
Oh,
thought.
Josiah. Go.
Real quick. I am excited to see Jokic and Gobert go out. That would be a very interesting matchup. You know, those two going at it like that. That will be fun to watch. But yeah, that's all I said. That's all I have.
I have something else to say about that.
What is it?
I forgot. I had it in my head before all. You see, I talked last and I forgot what I had in mind. Okay,
Down.
last series. The Los Angeles Clippers and the Dallas Mavericks.
Yeah. So
Series.
yeah, it's interesting. But I think it'll go. Clippers are gonna win. But I think it could go 6 games. I think it could. Because Luka and Porzingis have played really well in the bubble. It's just my thing is they're very thin as far as depth is concerned. They don't got a lot of depth at all, and they got players out right now, so that's gonna really hurt them. And their defense sucks. Whereas you have the Clippers, who have a ton of depth, and they're really good defensively, and they have a bunch of guys that can play defense and score. They're getting Montrezl Harrell back for Game 1. So yeah, this is the Mavs will make it interesting. But the thing is, with Luka and how well he's played, Clippers have a lot of bodies they can throw at Luka. Kawhi with George, Beverly, Marcus Morris. They're going to be throwing guys at him, and he's going to have a tough series. He's going to have to really work to get his points and to get put his numbers up. So I think the Clippers will be too much, and I think they'll be in. I have them in 6. The Mavs will make it interesting, but 6 games, Clippers win.
Man, Josiah and I think 6 or 7 out of the 8 series, we've had the exact same number of games and exact same winner. I gotta say,
great minds.
Yeah, that must be what it is. Either that, or we're both going to be completely wrong in about a week. We'll see. But I gotta say, watching the Mavs play in the bubble has been a lot of fun. Watching Luka has been fun, and I want them to win, and I want to pick them. But you just got too much talent on the Clippers. Like Josiah said, you don't have the depth to do it. I say they steal a couple of games, but I just don't. I would love to see them win the series, but I don't see it.
Of course, I'm a Mavs fan, so I'm in agreement with you guys. But just as a Mavs fan, I'm gonna say Clippers in 7.
Whoa.
Or actually, yeah, Clippers in 7, because I can't say, like, it's weird because I can't, it's, if I had to make like a bracket, I'd put the Clippers at the NBA Finals, and then that makes me like go against my heart in terms of like putting the Mavs, and it's gonna be like, I want to be wrong. I want to say the Mavs are gonna win in 7. You know what I'm saying? But it's like the bracket person in me is like, nah. But yeah, the Clippers are way too talented to like overcome that. I think that I think the Mavs can make it a 7-game series. I think it's very possible. But also I do see this as a series, like you guys say, it's a 6-game series, but I also see this as a series of like Doncic and Kristaps Porzingis finally making to the playoffs together and seeing what the playoffs is, even though this is a playoff bubble, which is not like any normal playoffs, but just like the whole winner go home feeling and everything. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm excited. Robert, what do you say?
We're gonna agree with you. 7-game series.
And who wins?
Dallas, man. Okay.
No, he's that's a joke. He's joking.
The Clippers are winning. Uh,
See, I know it
my
is
concern,
joking.
my concern with the my concern with the Mavericks is obviously their defense, but also the bodies, because you got the Clippers who have a good enough center. I don't say he's great, but he's a good center in Subac, who plays well. And then you got a backup who's strong as hell, and he scores like 18 points a game, Montrezl Harrell. And then the Mets don't have Dwight Powell. They're playing Maxi Kleber, who's like only plays at the 3-point line. He can't move to the paint because he can't do nothing at the paint. And what the only other guy that they have is Willie Cauley-Stein.
Bobby.
Hold
Willie
on.
Cauley-Stein's not in the bubble. Bobby is the one that they
playing.
got, baby.
How could you forget about Boban? Are you crazy? Oh, that's unacceptable.
Really?
Like,
Boban.
you forgot about Bobby.
Really,
That's-
Boban?
But
Yeah,
here's the thing.
That's why I didn't mention him.
You're
'Cause he's
agree. I
Boban.
agree. I agree.
Whoa,
I agree with you though. Willie Cauley-Stein and Dwight Powell not being there, that is the biggest hurt for the Mavs right now.
Because if they had them, I would at least said maybe they have a chance, but they don't.
They wouldn't have had the chance either way.
No. But wait, Robert, what do you have against Boban? I thought you loved Boban. Why are you dismissing him? What's going on here?
I love Boban.
Then why are you like? That's why I didn't talk about it, because it's Boban. Like you were shitting on him.
Boban won't do anything in this series to change the outcome of something.
No, he won't, but he will be effective if they play him. He's good on the court. He's a matchup problem. So like he might play. So I will say this. Shout out to Joakim Noah. He's not going to play probably in this series, but I love that he gets to play for a team that's contending. I'm just happy for him. Okay, so just how I shout him out. Also, my favorite quote from him is
I don't care.
Okay.
what's so great about Cleveland? Okay, I'm sorry. So I was just wanting to get a reaction to you. So
Yeah. No. Just
Yeah, I
a more
like that quote.
NBA championship. But
love you,
I'm
Joe.
sure that has to do with it.
Joakim, love you, buddy.
Look,
I mean,
what can I say? Joakim Noah, you're only saying that because you're a Bulls fan, bro.
Exactly. If not, I would be
What?
giving shout out to Avery Bradley.
Oh, I got him too.
So what? I'm gonna give a shout out to my guy. I don't care. He's my
I
man.
I have a tons of guys in the league that don't play for the Celtics.
You know what's weird?
That out.
He should have. You gotta say, Joakim Noah has one of the ugliest shots in the NBA. Forever. He looks like a girl's shot. Like, because I'm sorry, and I'm sorry for.
According to Josiah, it looks just as beautiful as Michael Jordan's shot.
I never said that. So you're completely making that.
Oh, now that you're on camera, you're not gonna say that.
Robert, you're making that up. I never said that. What are you talking about? Okay. But yeah, I mean, like Joakim's shot is ugly. I know, but I love the guy because when he played for the Bulls, he was awesome. I mean, he left his heart out there. He always played hard. He's one of my favorite Bulls of all time. Derrick Rose obviously is, but of course I want to shout out a guy that was so good for us for so many years. Like I love him, and any Bulls fan would do the same thing I'm doing. So
I gotta say,
But we're talking about former players. Let's just, hey JJ, I hope JJ has a good series.
Shout out to JJ. Warm up that bench, man. I'm sorry,
but
dude.
if we're talking
I'm
about
really sorry.
You
I
guys
love
think
you,
he played a
JJ.
minute in this series?
no.
I think he'll play. I
Maybe.
think he'll play. I think he'll play.
I mean, Rick knows how to play him. If like he sees something that can work for him.
You know what? He might play him because of experience. He might
Yeah.
Yeah.
just for that, and I get it because
I
you
mean,
want.
look at it this way. Look at it this way. Remember when Rondo quit on them? He was the guy he went for. And
Yeah, I agree.
and JJ
When
and-
Rondo quit, he was the one who took off, and he had a great game.
yeah,
like that.
JJ played well because
He
when
won
Rondo-
them a game in that
Yeah,
series.
he won them a game. He played
But
well.
here's the thing. I have a real question about JJ, and is this it?
No,
Maybe.
I don't think I think it's it. I think this is it with the Mavs.
Dude,
Are you
if
talking about
he
his
leaves the map, he's not playing with another NBA team.
What?
I mean, okay, Brian, were you asking about his career with the Mavericks?
Both.
I think he'll give it one more year, whether it be with the Mavericks or somebody else. He'll give it one
He's
more year.
34.
I think he'll have one more year.
What, dude? Players retire at 34.
I know. Well, here's the thing. I think he's shown enough with his limited playing time to be able to for the Mavs or any other team to say like maybe he has one more year, let's give him a year. It might not be the Mavs because they have options. They have options, man. They have Jalen Brunson and they have right now Trey Burke there. They have young options to like fill that need, and they might give him up even though he's a homer guy and he's their guy. Like it wouldn't surprise me if he ends his career
Here's
somewhere
my
else.
thing. If he ends the career, he's gonna stay in Dallas, and he'll probably get hired as an assistant coach or something because he can develop those guards.
He
I
could.
mean,
You've seen JJ before. He sold Team Puerto Rico guards before, and the way they transition, he can help these guys.
So-
I'm in all agreement. He's going to be a coach. Like his future is going to be a
What
coach.
better way to start in Dallas?
So you guys think he'd be a good? I mean, because I've never really heard about JJ Barea like becoming a coach. Like you guys think that?
I mean, he's a coach. He's coached already.
He coached the league here, and he coached the team here. Like he had to get special permission from the NBA to become a head coach in the league here.
From a game, remember that?
What? Yeah, he got
Remember when
ejected.
he got ejected?
Wait,
Yeah, but
That went viral.
it's
on.
not like the thing is that we know that he wants to do it. Like that's the thing. It's like his view is that he's going to be a coach, and I also have a feeling like the people within the organization in Dallas think that way as well. I mean, he's always in the coaching seats right next to the bench from time to time, and it like you can feel that he's gonna like end up getting that route of becoming a coach. So but he has a year or two left in him. I know he does. And I know that it might not be with the Mavs. It just might not be with the Mavs.
I think I agree with Brian on that one. Yeah, I think he has one more year.
Now that we mentioned Jerry, shout out to like this historic moment that was yesterday. I think 16 years ago, Team Puerto Rico beat the United States, baby.
And what have they done since?
I agree with the shout out.
What did they do? I don't care. They beat a team with LeBron. They beat a team with Kobe. They beat a team with Tim Duncan,
Dwayne Wade.
Dwayne Wade,
And
Carmelo.
Kobe wasn't in there.
Tracy
Why did you
McGrady?
say Kobe? Kobe was not in it.
Wait. This was 2004, right?
Yeah, it was Allen Iverson. It was RJ. It was Tim Duncan. It was Jason Kidd.
Yeah, Tracy McGrady.
You were
No,
saying
Tracy McGrady didn't go.
Tracy McGrady was on that team. Remember?
He didn't go. Tracy McGrady
played.
only played in the pre-Olympic game. He didn't
No,
go.
Vince Carter.
Wait, let me look up.
No, he didn't go either.
No,
It was
they were-
RJ. RJ
No.
was their small forward.
No, because he fought with Eddie Casiano. Remember? He
No.
got into the fight. Tracy.
Guys, I'm gonna look up the team. Okay, and I'm gonna find the. Okay, I got the roster here. 2004, United States. Okay, Carmelo Anthony, Carlos Boozer, Tim Duncan, Allen Iverson, LeBron James, Richard Jefferson, Stephon Marbury, Sean Marion, Lamar Odom, Emeka Okafor, Amari Stoudemire, Dwayne Wade. Yeah, T-Mac wasn't in there, Robert. Okay.
Robert, all the people that you mentioned were not in there.
And Wade and LeBron were just starting in the
They're
NBA.
puppies.
So like
Hey, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
a little bit.
It doesn't matter what you
It
think.
doesn't matter. We still beat you.
Yeah, they've done nothing since then, so it's whatever. I'm
Really?
content.
Really? You're gonna take this away from us when you clearly know that there's only a few times when this is possible that it can happen.
You know, but I'm doing it because I want to just I want to be fun. I just love doing this because
No,
I'm
why you gotta shit on us? Why you gotta? We can
It's
only
all
have
because
this
they're
one-
trying a
we only
reaction
have
from
this
you,
one
Robert.
memory.
It's not shitting on us. It's shitting on you.
Yeah,
I only have
exactly.
one memory.
I like Ryan.
I only have one memory of like that, of being an underdog like that.
You know what? You asked for it. I'm sorry.
Let me have it.
Give it to- that was a layup right there, dude. That
Let
was
me
a
have it.
and I dunked. And I dunked. I didn't lay
Hey,
it up.
you know what?
You can't even.
All I remember from the game, and you know what? I'll just mention it right now. Arroyo putting his jersey up and shaking Amari Stoudemire out of his shoes for a layup on one, like faking the hell out of Amari Stoudemire, like that. I've never seen that ever in competition before.
Good.
Like
Great
it was like a ball fake.
I mean, it's good. It was great moment for you guys. But USA's owned you guys since then. So I'm just gonna
USA's owned everybody, but that's just like whatever.
Well,
What do you
they were
expect? I
pretty
mean,
shit last year.
I was hoping that Spain would do something, you know?
Wait, Rob, are you
Like-
talking about last year's team?
That team
Nobody
sucks,
went-
man.
Nobody went to the. Come on, man. If they had everyone, they would have beaten.
Hey,
everyone.
no. We
stop.
don't want excuses. We
Yeah.
do not want excuses.
No, it's a viable excuse.
While Spain played with what? A bunch of 35-year-olds?
You wouldn't have stood a chance if everybody played, and you know that. All right. So
I still can't believe we lost to Italy when we were winning by 20 points and we lost in the fourth
talk about basketball, guys, and
Go
for
Italian.
All right, I think that this is the end of our first live broadcast. But Seth, go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm going to take the conversation about 15 minutes back, what I was starting to say a few times.
Jesus.
Um,
This has got to be the playoffs, right?
No, this is about Joakim Noah because Noah and I got to respond to this. You think the reason I hate him is because of the Cleveland quote? It goes back before that. It goes back to the 2007 national title game when Florida beat Ohio State. By the way, which was the second time Florida beat Ohio State in a national title game that year. The football team beat us when we were favored by like 2 touchdowns in the national title game. And then Joakim Noah, because Greg Oden was in foul trouble, beat us in the national title game in basketball. That's the reason I hate Joakim Noah. The Cleveland quote's just like the cherry on top for why I hate that man.
I thought you were going to get into in 2010 when Joe
Brian,
Keane
do you know that quote?
started
Do you know
trash
that quote?
other. Robert, I'm trying to talk, dude. I thought you were getting into 2010 remember 2010 when the Cavs played the Bulls and Joe Keane was on the bench. He started saying stuff to LeBron. They talked back and forth at the free throw line.
Yeah.
Hatred towards LeBron began. Like that's when it started, and it manifested itself when he went to the Heat. Like, and I still hate him to this day.
Brian, do you remember that?
What?
When
Do I remember?
Joakim said that thing about Cleveland?
I mean, it's so vague in my memory right
So he
now.
was
He
in a
was like
press- he was in a press
Asians and-
conference.
Like that's it was something like that.
Really
Like-
should pull it right
He was
now.
in a press conference and he said, like, "Oh, why would anybody want to go to Cleveland?"
It's all factories.
I mean, you gotta understand, Chicago and Cleveland have a rivalry just per se, just like by location, and just like so, like that's kind of heated. He just put some wood in the fire right there. But that's the thing with Joakim, man.
Me and the rest
Joakim
of
is
that-
he's a fire type of guy.
I'd rather go to Cleveland than Chicago.
Joakim, fine, Joakim.
Really?
Wait, Robert. You just say you'd rather go to get out of
Hey,
here.
here's the thing.
Like
I wanna
love
know,
Cleveland, and, man,
Joakim is the son of a tennis player and a model,
Yannick.
and he is
They're French. He can play. He can play for the French national team if he wants to.
Yeah, he could. But yeah, like no, my hate towards LeBron started with that whole fight and like the whole Cleveland thing, Brian, you brought up, like there is a rivalry going on with that too. But then when LeBron, and I already hated him in the Cavs, then he went to the Heat. Oh my God, it was like
imagine if he
even
would have gone to the Bulls.
That's when he switched his.
Imagine if
Yeah,
he gone to
they
the Bulls.
about
He could have gone to the Bulls.
a lot of people thought he was going to go to Chicago for a
and I
bit.
just hated to say it, but I did want him to, even though I hated him.
Of
I
course,
wanted him.
of course.
He was the best player
I
available.
mean, wait. Would you? Why would you not want him to go?
Yeah, well, of course not. Like, of course I want him. He was the best. He's the best player in the world, so of course I want him on the team. But and then him not going to the team made me more pissed off at him. So like that didn't help. And then he went to the Heat, and then you know what happened after that. Some people don't understand my hatred towards LeBron. But if you were I'll say this right now: if you were a Chicago fan during 2010, 2014, 15, the Bulls during that time, you would understand. You would completely understand because I would go to the games. And just the things that would happen, okay, the fights that these two teams would get in, and we never beat the Heat. The Heat always beat us, and that's what pissed me off more is that they always beat us. But it wasn't stemmed from that. It was LeBron going at the Bulls players and stuff. There's a lot of things that went into it, but
Of
I'm
course,
not
I would
saying
want
that-
LeBron on the Celtics, but nobody wants to wear that Celtics green. I understand the hate above it. Like,
All right. Well, I gotta go, guys, because responsibility of being a dad's calling me. So, Robert, why don't you sign us out?
So, guys, this will be the end of this episode. Thank you guys for joining us on YouTube, our debut. This is probably going to be posted after this ends, right, Brian?
I'm hoping. I'm
I
guessing.
hope this is. So you'll have this available before it's on iTunes and Spotify. So that'd be good, and you can watch us do it instead of just hearing us. But yeah, I mean, it was very fun. I hope you guys enjoy the NBA playoffs as we will. Go Celtics. And yeah, remember.
And I here before we go, I'd like to have a quick shout out to the one person who actually like talked in the chat. Alejandro Proscour
Yes.
actually participated in our chat, and I was trying to write back, but I couldn't, man.
Thank you.
Sorry. But I hope you keep on tuning in, and I will try to figure out how to like participate you with it in the
big
chat
Celtics
in the
fan,
future.
big Celtics fan right there.
Thank you, Alejandro. Appreciate the support.
Taco, he thinks Taco Fall is the next big thing.
Oh
It's
my God.
possible. It's number 99.
Yeah, oh, I gotta
He's gonna stop Joel Embiid. Moving on. So yeah, this will be the end. As I said, remember to follow us on Twitter at @sports_accent. Subscribe to the YouTube page, and yeah.
Are we gonna give our personal Twitters?
Oh yeah, that as well.
I'm gonna say I'm at Seth Pollock, and as always, I'll say everybody needs to rate and review, please too. I think you can do that on YouTube, but also do that on iTunes. We love it.
Give us 5 stars, and we got pretty good reviews right there. They're really
Yeah.
good.
Let's go. I mean, yeah, I guess I'll go. So mine is, I've said this before, Jade Schueneman spelled SCHUENEMAN. If you want to talk sports, you want to talk LeBron James slander and why he's the second best player of all time, be my guest. Please let me know.
I'm at BRios PR on Twitter and Facebook. Brian Alexander Rios. I like just plugging it in because I'm an old timer, I guess. But nothing. Have fun, you guys. It's good to talk. Robert, go.
Thank you guys for joining. Bye.
Thanks, guys. All right.